All right, welcome back to Hip Hop Beats and Things. I'm your host K-Hill, along with my man Finsta. And today we got another fire episode. I'm fortunate once again to be interviewing somebody that I have a great relationship with. You know, while we building this and whatnot, you know what I'm saying? I love to have conversations with cats that are familiar with the foundation and whatnot that bring us to, you know, where we are today, you know. And if you're a product of the 80s, you remember terms like dope, hype, fresh, deaf, cool. And then the early 90s came in, and you know, that vernacular was still around. That vernacular and that slang is still around today. But one more word, and I'm sure a couple of more phrases along the years, but it's one important phrase that got added in the early mid-90s, and that was the term butter. You know what I'm saying? And if you're familiar, not butter, not the way that butter is really spelled, but B-U-T-T-A. And when we said something was butter, like if we see a nice looking girl, we'd be like, damn, shorty butter. You know what I'm saying? Or if we see a dope car or whatever that we want to drive, dang, that's a butter whip and whatnot. But the one I've been hearing it used, the place I've been hearing it used the most, it's like if you went out and bought a fresh pair of Timbs, you know, no scuffs, you know what I'm saying, clean, still got the tag on it and everything, you say you got you a pair of butter Timbs and whatnot. Anyway, I'm talking about that phrase so much because it's kind of helping me introduce our upcoming guest, my man Skaz Digga of the world famous Butta Team. And today we're gonna, you know, for those who know Skaz, they know Skaz. For those who know Skaz but don't really know the history of Skaz, you know what I'm saying, we get to dig deep today, talk about him, you know, talk about his history, his journey, where the name Skaz came from, because I really want to know that one myself. And you know, how do we get to the point where he's at now? This is a very busy brother. I'm blessed. I'm fortunate. This is my brother. This is one of my mentors right here. You know what I'm saying? And I don't use that term loosely. Like, I've learned a lot from this brother. I've watched him from afar. I've worked alongside closely with him, and I was able to call him up in the middle of his busy schedule today and had this, you know what I'm saying, had this rock out. So, hey man, without further ado, Skaz Digga, welcome to Hip Hop Beats and Things, man. I really appreciate you, my brother, because you could have been anywhere in the world, and most of the time you are. But you gave your brothers a couple of minutes and whatnot, man.
No doubt.
Yo, man, I want to take it from the top. I know you're Durham based. That's where you got a lot of your footwork in. That's where you own your skills at. As far as I know, you know what I'm saying. That's where your headquarters is, the Butta Team headquarters is, and whatnot. And we're gonna talk about the Butta Team too, man. And we definitely gonna get it in with them later on, you know, as the year go out. But are you a North Carolina native?
I'm more. Okay, this is I could put it this way.
Okay.
I was born in Philly.
Okay, cool.
But for more of my life, I was raised in North Carolina.
All right.
I mean, Philly native, originally born, lived there, you know, but most of my life I've been in North Carolina.
Okay.
So that's pretty much why I claim North Carolina mostly. You know what I'm saying? But I'm a Philly native.
Okay. So you're not one of them cats that go around saying, yo, I'm from Philly. You know what I'm saying?
I am, but I don't because I became DJ Skaz Digga.
This is where you became Skaz Digga.
Exactly.
Let's talk about that. Mm-hmm. Can we put a year on it? About, you know, when you got into DJing and whatnot, who inspired you?
Okay.
You know, what was the beginning point and whatnot?
Okay. All right. The first official year, I want to say the first official year that I said I was a DJ,
right,
would probably have to be 88. I flirted with it prior,
right,
but not to the full capacity of what a DJ is.
Right.
When I was in Philly, I did some stuff, but I wasn't DJing. I was like, okay, I was getting hip hop records and I was making pause mixes and stuff, but I wasn't considering that DJing.
Right.
So I don't say that's a part of my DJ portion.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, I moved back to North Carolina in '87, and then I flirted with it because I had a couple friends that had some
That was already doing it.
That was doing stuff.
Okay.
A couple friends that was doing stuff, and we kind of came together and was, collectively kind of just messing around. And at a local boys club that we had, they ended up giving us the option to create a radio station.
So you got your start at the rec room.
Exactly.
Okay, let's go.
Mm-hmm. So they, so they said, okay, we could do like a radio station. So everybody who was a part of, our crews and stuff, everybody bringing pieces of equipment or whatever to make a collective of a full set of equipment.
Right.
But it was so many heads, and for us to learn the actual aspect of it and all at the time that I wanted to put into it, I couldn't have it at that point because it was so many people involved. So that made me say, all right, well, I'm serious about wanting to do this, so I need to get my own set.
Right.
So that, so that spawned me wanting to pursue it like individually outside. I was still doing it with them, but it was outside of them intrigued my interest more.
Right.
And then I had a chance, a meeting with one of our friends that would be around, and because at this time I was still into video games heavy. I was a gamer, and I was doing that kind of heavy.
This still the '80s, right?
Yep.
So what we talking about? Atari?
No, I'm talking about advanced a little bit. Talking about Nintendo had just really kind of got popping.
Okay.
And then we went to the Sega Genesis and all that
stuff.
So it's around that time. So, but I always been entrepreneurial or hustle, all that kind of shit. So when I kind of stopped wanting to be so involved in gaming, I started like renting out my games because I was so good with it. It was like I would buy a game, I would play it in about a couple days. It's like I mastered.
Right.
So then it's like I started getting a little bored with
right.
it. So then it was like I would the kids in the neighborhood, I would rent my games out for 50 cents, whatever, like, stuff like, just being entrepreneurial or thinking,
That's
hustling.
dope.
But then, like I said, I kind of got tired. So I was like, a friend of mine wanted to mess with video games, but he had equipment.
Right.
Deejay equipment.
It was the barter.
Exactly.
Okay.
So he's like, well, yo, I'm trying to get rid of this such and such. I want to get a video. I was like, well, I'm trying to get rid of it. Okay. So we traded. I traded my Nintendo with probably about 7 cartridges for a set of turntables and a mixer.
Fair deal.
So that was my official
entrance into, what I'm saying?
Birth. Like when I got equipment, that's when I said, okay, now I'm a DJ.
Okay.
Versus like DJing with other people that had pieces of equipment, and I was dabbling, but I'm a DJ once I get my set.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm a DJ.
What DJs did you look to then that inspire you? We still talking about 87, 88, right?
Yeah.
So.
I had a lot of influence and inspiration from the Philly cats out the gate. Anyway, Cash Money, Tat, Jazzy Jeff.
Right.
So I already they was like the roots of like when I first got into hip hop per se, breakdancing and all that kind of stuff. Those guys were.
You was also a breakdancer as well.
And that's what I was doing that in Philly.
Right.
And that was when it was heavy. You know what I'm saying? So,
it's crazy, man. I didn't mean to cut you off.
You good.
It's crazy because I didn't know you was from Philly. And looking to the DJ, because these are the top DJs, bro. Mm-hmm. Like, they come from Philly. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Tat Money, Cash Money, Jazzy Jeff. Mm-hmm. The top cats. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? DJ Miz.
Yeah.
Right.
DJ Ghetto. Or like it's several dope Philly cats that.
When we say dope, we talking about going to the DJ battles.
Exactly. Like the DMC battles.
Yeah, the DMC battles and whatnot.
Yeah, those kind of guys.
Coming home with the belts and everything.
Exactly. Yep.
And you're from that area. Mm-hmm. So it's all coming together and making sense now. Mm-hmm. All right, so these are your influences and whatnot. You starting to DJ serious. This is around 88, 89. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So what was it? Was you doing parties then? Was you doing mixtapes then?
Mixtapes. I started off with the mixtapes.
Okay.
That's what really kind of how my my DJ I guess my skill and my ear, it kind of started from creating mixtapes and getting, and getting people. That's how I got known as a DJ. Like it was like I was just doing personal. I might do personal takes for people and shout them out, because I was inspired by like the mixtape cats too, the Kid Capri, the Ron G's, the Doo Wops,
love Doo Wop,
all of them. So it's like those were my inspirations as well.
Right.
So on the mixtape side, once I got into mixtapes, that's what kind of, believe it or not, that's what started me on my production realm.
Okay.
Because of how I put together mixtapes, I was thinking more as a producer than just as I was doing DJing, but I was thinking as a producer too. So that kind of was my birth to doing production and making tracks. And because I got to a point where I was doing mixes, like I would do, we was doing blend tapes and all this other stuff, but I was doing. Then I got to a point where I started doing a series called Beyond Blends, where I would make my own beat and blend the song.
Right.
So that's kind of So that's kind of how I got into the production side of things too.
Okay, so while all of this is going on, right? How does the Butta Team form? Was the Butta Team already there?
Not yet. Not all the way yet. The Butta Team came like later. We came like early 90s by the time, because like when I first started, it was one guy in the Butta Team, Lil DJ Lil B.
Okay.
We worked closely. We was doing a whole lot of stuff together. Early in the game.
Lil B wasn't the because y'all had a real young DJ.
Double J.
That's Double J.
Double J.
Double J that's on
Double J, yep.
Is it 97.5?
He used to be on there.
Okay, but
he moved to Dallas.
Yo, he's an awesome DJ too, man. Wow, man. I didn't know he came up on the y'all.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Wow.
Definitely.
Wow, and before we go any further, I want to make sure I got this right. The Butta Team, man, it's like it's like another superhero conglomerate and whatnot, and I want to make sure I got all the members right. So right off the top of my head, I got DJ Skaz, I got DJ Mike Nice, I got DJ Bro Rab, I got DJ Scotty Rock, I got DJ Fats. Is that right?
Fats is like an affiliate. He's not.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not.
I seen him around.
This is family though.
Okay.
This is like my brother. But it's like at the time when we was forming the Butta Team, he wasn't around no more.
Okay.
That's the reason why he probably wasn't directly a part of it. Because by the time we started forming the Butta Team, he had moved down the Fayetteville area, so he wasn't in the area.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
I got Courtney C.
Yep.
Who am I missing?
Really, Double J.
Okay, Double J. Okay,
Double J. But then we got a couple of members that were early on that kind of stopped doing it per se.
Gotcha.
Which might be part of the foundation of the Butta Team.
Okay.
DJ Mad.
Okay.
He's part of the foundation.
Didn't know that.
Of starting the whole Butta
Right.
Team. Between him and Mike Nice, that was kind of the foundation of how we started the Butta Team. And it started from Duke radio station.
Wow, I did not know y'all was at Duke.
Yeah,
did not know that, yo.
Because that was
did not know that.
First and foremost. Like,
wow.
DJ Mad went to Duke.
Yeah.
He was on the radio at Duke. He brought everybody in the mix. He brought Mike Nice in the mix, which brought me in the mix, which all of this stuff kind of was, it was kind of like a snowball effect.
Right.
So it was like, but even how it snowballed, it didn't start out as we the Butta Team. It was like a gradual, like, okay, I'm DJ Mad went to Duke. This crazy thing. DJ Mad went to Duke. I worked at Duke.
Okay.
At the time. When he went to school, I was working in food service at Duke.
Okay.
So, but I was doing mixtapes and stuff. So, shit was circulating around people who knew him and knew me, but didn't put two and two together until a little later. So, so by the time they was doing the station, because I think Mad was even up there before Samps. Like all of them kind of, I think Mad was really the whole birth of Duke radio station on the urban side.
Cause see, when I came in, Samps was Samps was the guy at Duke.
Yep.
I think when I met you guys, y'all was at Central.
Yeah, because
so that's why I came in.
Exactly.
You know, that's why I met y'all at and whatnot.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
why you missed the Duke situation.
Right.
The Duke situation was Mad first, then Mike, then we all kind of started getting a part of that. Then Central Station starts because Central Station wasn't even going on at this time.
Right.
Then Central Station starts. Then Mike go over there. Then Bro Rad. Then we all kind of, you know what I'm saying. So it was like that, but it started at Duke.
And to everybody that's listening, when we say Duke and Central, we talking about Duke University, and we talking about North Carolina Central University. So I just want to make that clear and whatnot.
Yeah.
Wow. So basically, the Butta Team was just like a group of DJs who was doing their thing that came.
Well,
came
really,
together.
Originally it wasn't only DJs.
Okay.
It was DJs, producers, and we had MCs. All that stuff kind of was a part of, like, so a lot of the artists and people kind of spawned from it.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it birthed. It wasn't only DJs.
Okay.
Originally, it wasn't really.
All right. So now that you tell me that, right? Okay. There's a hip hop group. There's a hip hop collective or whatever from Durham. Nasty Fruit.
Mm-hmm.
What's your affiliation and relationship with Nasty Fruit? Because I need understanding. Because
okay.
Now that you say that the Butta Team had MCs in it, I'm assuming that some of these MCs was a part of the Butta Team as well. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Cool.
Butta Team affiliate MCs, as far as when we birthed the Butta Team,
right?
And that really, I'm gonna tell you how that even stemmed from when Mad. He had his show. I ended up DJing on his show.
Okay.
Eventually, Take Two and Pass.
Okay.
Sunday nights.
Right.
Okay. They would let MCs come up and rhyme. So that's how some of those spawned. Because Courtney C originally was a rapper.
Wow. Did not know that, yo.
Courtney C originally was a rapper.
Did not know that. I knew he had beats.
Yeah, he originally was a rapper.
I didn't know that though.
He was originally a rapper.
Okay,
so
okay.
The rappers would come up there was Courtney C, Sim Swells.
Yes. I know Sim.
Flawless.
I know Flawless. My man's.
What's his name?
Wow, I know Josh.
Jay Gunn was like a little cat. He was young, but he wasn't able to come to the station until like later. But he was around like this time. We was doing like the battles, and he was coming.
It's coming together. You see the connection, fans?
Mr. Dolo. Like
that's my man,
actually,
yes.
how Mike had a show. Mike Nice had a show on Wednesdays.
Okay.
And he had heard about me, and he invited me up there to DJ, and I brought Dolo. Me and Dolo came with the SP.
Right.
Boom. You know what I'm saying? We in there with the SP playing beats and rhyming and DJing and everything. So that was kind of like, he saw us like, oh shit, like word. I've been hearing about y'all guys, but you know, now I get a chance to witness, you know,
Right.
So which that's kind of sparked the whole relationship with everybody that was affiliated and everything that kind of spawned into the Butta Team.
Right.
But it started from just individuals that saw talent in other people, and then we started saying, okay, let's kind of make this into like somewhat of a collective. But it was way more MCs that used to come to the station around this time, but they may have not. After a while, Born Supreme, he was Otis. He's called the Otis Nightquill. Born, he was a major cat.
Okay.
They had him and Sim Swells and them had a crew called the Sperm Bank Dilemma.
Wow, that sounds so Sim Swells too, bro.
Yeah.
That sounds like something he'll come up with
and
too,
we
bro.
got I think it's circulating out here though. They got it's infamous tape.
Okay.
Of at the station with Sperm Bank Dilemma, with Courtney C rhyming and Sim rhyming, Born Supreme. Like it's an infamous tape that's like legendary. So it's like that's what I said. If you know Courtney C now, you like I said, you would never imagine him being that.
Courtney don't say much, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
He don't say much. He come in, you know, he peep the scene.
Yeah,
you know what
he's
I'm saying?
an observer.
He'll throw his hand up or whatever, or salute up or whatever, and then you know you don't hear much from him. You know,
but he's a to his defense.
Oh no, that's
no, I get you. No, I'm just saying, not necessarily you.
Right.
No, I'm just saying to his defense.
Right.
What he started bringing more of the thoughts and ideas of specific things for us to do as a collective.
Okay.
He is a lot of that brainchild.
Michael Bivens.
Yeah, he's a lot of
Right.
that brainchild.
Right.
Believe it or not, he's the brainchild of the Welcome to Durham.
Wow.
He's the brainchild of the Welcome to Durham documentary.
Wow, man.
He's the brainchild.
Is that still available?
I don't know if you can find it. At one point in time, if you still had the old school Netflix with the CDs,
Right,
the
right,
DVDs,
You can get it.
you could get it. But I don't know if that's available now.
Okay.
I haven't in so
Okay.
many years. But I know it was still available there. But you couldn't find it in those stores and none of that stuff. Not anymore. Because it was only like, I think they only produced a certain amount.
Okay. And for everybody that's listening, Welcome to Durham was a documentary that it just showcased, you know, different activities and different things going on in the Bull City. The guys even had a soundtrack.
Yep.
Cause I think, you know, we had the opportunity to help y'all, you know, a little bit on that soundtrack. That's kind of where I started, you know what I'm saying, meeting y'all too. Like I used to see you guys around town all the time, man. Anytime I be in a venue and, you know, Flavor Fruit and I'm gonna ask you about that too, Flavor Fruit or Butta Team be up in there, man. It's like, it's not one or two cats, man. It's like a whole collective. It was unity, you know what I'm saying? Like sort of remind you, you know, like Tribe or, you know, the Outsiders or something like that, man. It was just a collective and whatnot. And as far as you saying, you know, different crews spawned from Butta Team and, you know, what you guys was doing. When I first heard Mr. Dolo, it wasn't with you guys. It was on a Carolina Blue mixtape produced by Ski Beats. That's the first time I heard Mr. Dolo. Yeah. So to find out that this cat was from, you know, Durham later on, because I thought his voice was just so crazy, bro. Like, I still think his voice is amazing, man.
And it's a story to even that. To lead up to it. We're going to get to that. This is the
time to do it, you know what I'm saying?
Lead up to that.
Okay, so what's the difference between... So Nasty Fruit is the group, right?
Okay, that's what I'm saying. There's a story behind all that.
Okay.
Nasty Fruit ended up being the group.
Okay.
But it wasn't the group originally. Nasty Fruit is a production company.
Okay, got you.
Okay, Nasty Fruit is a production company. Mr. Dolo and DJ Wisdom in Charlotte. They and he had a crew of MCs at this time too.
This is DJ Wisdom.
Yeah,
okay.
DJ Wisdom,
okay.
Mr. Dolo. He had a group. They was called the Grand 3 MCs.
Okay.
They originated Nasty Fruit in Charlotte.
Okay.
Okay. Dolo's wife is from Raleigh.
Okay.
So they would commute back and forth, and we got introduced to one another. I was DJing for another group called 3 Below at this time.
Okay.
I'm talking early 90s,
wow.
like 90, 91, 92, somewhere in
right.
that time. I was DJing for a group called 3 Below. It was a guy, Big Ty, named Ricochet, my other man, Al. I was DJing for that group, and we had a manager at the time, and we was looking for somebody to shoot a video.
Okay.
Which ended up being, you know, long story short, ended up being Dolo's wife's uncle. So we were doing the video, and that's how we got introduced.
Mm-hmm.
So we got introduced from his uncle, because I had a group called 3 Below.
Right.
He had his team, Grand 3 MCs and his stuff in Charlotte.
Right.
And we collectively got together. We did a song. He did a hook for us in the beat.
Who did the hook?
Mr. Dolo.
Okay.
Well, he wasn't even Mr. Dolo at the
time. Right.
His name was Fat Dez.
Right. Okay.
Fat Dez is what he originally was. Fat Dez.
That's great,
so
man.
We did a song called Crazy Flavor.
Okay.
He did the chorus and the beat for it.
So Mr. Dolo been producing for a while now.
He been producing first. Before he was,
did not know that.
Nah, he was doing beats.
Had no idea.
He was doing beats when we met him. I didn't even have no drum machine yet. I was just DJ looping on a sampler and a 4-track making beats.
Right.
Okay, once we got together with him, he did the beat for that. He heard what I was creating with just the sampler and the 4-track, and he was like, yo, you doing that with that? Like, I'm gonna let you hold this, because he had the SP1200.
Wow.
He the first one who introduced me to SP1200.
And them joints was up there then too.
Yeah, they had two of them.
Matter of fact, they still up there.
Now they are.
In
He had
price,
two of
yeah.
them. They were MIDI two of them together. And,
Right.
Okay, so he had his, and Wiz had the other one. So it was like when he so then he saw how I sing was, because Sister Rhonda would always do the hip hop show. Sister One.
Sister One.
She would
Rest
always,
the power.
even back then.
Yeah.
She was. I feel like she was the birth of the hip hop unity in this area.
Right.
She did events and had everybody come and perform, and she the one who kind of started the unity of all the artists. So that's how all of our artists start affiliating with each other, because through her.
Power of a woman.
Yeah, through her. She would do rap summits, and stuff like that, and bring everybody together, do big showcases.
I think I met her maybe like 2 times, and when I met her, by the time I got to the Bull City, I know she was doing events on Phoenix Square.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I
was late. I'm saying she was the first person kind of doing showcases that was showcasing the local talent.
Right.
And this was like I'm talking about this early 90s.
Wow,
like
man.
91, 90, you know what I'm saying?
And I had no idea.
Yeah, she's a pillar, like for real, a pillar in the community. So that's why she was praised so much.
That's why we do these right here, because it's stuff like this that I didn't even know myself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's important. I didn't know that. I just knew that, I knew she had made an impact, you know what I'm saying, in the scene, because I know, a lot of cats I had respect for and whatnot, and I used to just see her around, when I first moved, but when I moved, y'all had already made y'all runs.
We had already been running, we had already been moving and shaking, yep.
Mr. Dolo, so he was still a part of you guys while he was a part of Ski Beats Now City.
No. Yeah, of course. But this is what I'm saying. This, I've been trying to get to it somewhat.
Okay.
It's like trying to make it as short as possible, but it's still kind of like a process. Like I said, they had the Nasty Fruit Collective. Him and Wiz and them had the Nasty Fruit section in Charlotte.
Right.
And they still was residing in Charlotte.
Okay.
When they met up with us, we had our shit going on, and then Sister Rhonda had the hip hop community, how we had it going. He was like, shit, I need to move up there because y'all got it cracking.
Right.
So he moved from Charlotte up here.
Right.
Then we spawned the Nasty Fruit to up here.
Gotcha.
And, then we started, it still was a collective from a lot of the Butta Team stuff and Nasty Fruit stuff was kind of fused because we had people that was doing this and that was all affiliated with what was going on.
Right.
Okay. So we had the Nasty Fruit. It wasn't a group. It was just individual artists or groups that was within that was a part of the production people. Like we had the Noses, which is Sim Swells, what's his name, and Bro Rad. That was their group.
Okay.
Then it was me and Dolo was a group called Full Circle.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, we called Full Circle, which both of us did everything in hip hop. We break dance, graffiti. So Full Circle of hip hop. That's what the Full Circle was. So we was a group. Who else was affiliated at that time as Nasty Fruit? There was a couple of little subsidiary people that would.
Y'all lost somebody that was in Nasty Fruit.
Naughty.
Yeah.
But see, even Naughty, like when Naughty became a part.
Right.
That's when they kind of made into a group.
Okay.
But that was like fast forward a lot of stuff. So it's like. All right, so we had the Nasty Fruit thing going. We was doing all the radio stuff. Like we did promos for 97.5. We did promos for all the Duke stations. Then we did it for the Central stations in the state. We started making our rounds just as me and him doing joints for the stations. Then we started, because all of our groups were kind of affiliated. Then we started doing closely relatable stuff. So then, so with me and Flawless had a studio together on Chapel Hill Road, which that's probably where his spot might still be there now.
Yeah, you talking the big greenhouse.
Exactly. It used to be pink. It used to be a pink house.
It used to be a pink house?
We used to call it the pink house. This was 95, 96-ish.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So at this time, I'm trying to get to the Ski Beats.
Hey man, make your way there. You good?
So around this time,
me
and Flawless happened to go to the Rap Sheet convention in D.C.
Did you say Rap Sheet?
Rap Sheet.
Wow. For those not familiar with Rap Sheet, it was a magazine, but it was like a newspaper style magazine. But it was dope. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, go back.
Rap Sheet. 96. We went to the Rap Sheet convention in D.C. This one BT was in D.C.
Okay.
So we went to the rap convention. The main showcase of the Rap Sheet convention, the artist that was on there, Boot Camp Click was the headliners.
Wow, what a time!
It was, but I'm gonna tell you who it was a priority showcase.
Priority Records.
Priority, but listen who it was on. Who was on there? They was the headliners.
Okay.
The opening act, Jay-Z. Organized Confusion. And Boot Camp was the headliner.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that was the main show. But we went to a panel discussion. Went to the producer panel. The producer panel had Large Professor, Ski Beats. Who else was it? Daddy O.
Wow.
Can't remember who else. So it's a panel discussion.
Yeah.
So we in the panel discussion, they talking about some things, and we kind of respond, and we talking whatever, and then Ski had said something about something, and we knew some direct shit, and he looked at us like. So then in the break, it was a McDonald's up the street.
Right. So
we go to the McDonald's and chill and get stuff. We run into him, and he come up to us like, "Yo, I know y'all from NC. What part y'all from?" And we like, "We from Durham." He's like, because we knew like shit routed by him, and now he was like looking like, "Who was these cats?" Then he kind of came to us like, "Yo, what y'all did?" So then we kind of, that's how we got a relationship with him. So then when we came back home, he was like, "Well, what y'all got? Like music, you know, da-da-da." So then we had Dolo, we had Flawless, we had mad shit going on. Courtney, we had mad people that was affiliated with what's going on. He heard our music, he was like, "Yo, y'all got some shit going." So Flawless started going up there, back and forth a lot, just going to kick it with him or whatever. He would bring, and that's when we got cool with Camp Low. He would bring them down. They would come to the house and record, whatever. So, because we had a studio, so they would come down just to kick it, but they'd come and record, whatever. So we got our report.
So you recorded with Camp Low during the Saturday Night Live era.
Exactly.
Yep. Wow, man.
Exactly. So that's how I met him from back then. I know him from then. So they still was on the come up. Right. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, so Ski was hearing our music that we was doing, and he was loving Dolo. Like, yo, he was like Dolo and Courtney. Yeah. So he was like, yo, he like Flawless too, because Flawless was he was the pipeline.
Flawless sound like a third member of Camp Low,
but that's how, because we got so much rapport with them from doing like early work. So then it kind of like it meshed, because he didn't originally sound like that, but the fact that he was around them a lot, and he was kind of in the mix of what they was doing at the time, it kind of like bled over. So then you're picking up the so then it kind of was like a smooth, like, okay, this seemed like it worked. Okay, so but he was always a solo artist. I was one of the producers for him, whatever. But me and Dolo was a group, so he was a solo artist that we just was under. But he was in the Nasty Fruit, so like all this stuff was like a collective. So but he was the bridge, right? So, because he was talking to Ski like all the time, we would talk to him here and there, but he was going up. He was driving to New York to go kick it with him, whatever. Then it didn't know. So, but then I remember before Ski moved back to North Carolina, he had a meeting with me and Flawless, and he was like, "Yo," he had just jumped off the Rocker Block Records, but he was saying, "I want to do a North Carolina based label with only North Carolina artists. It's gonna be separate from my Rocker Block, but I'm gonna do a North Carolina based label with North Carolina artists." So we kind of was A&Ring for that shit. You know what I'm saying? So the people that we had was going. He was like liking our music and stuff. He was like, okay, well, yo, because he was trying to get us to help with doing some production.
He was gonna scale. He was gonna scale the business. Yeah,
so
right,
he was
right,
like,
right.
oh yeah, nah, y'all, okay, so y'all my NC pipeline. You know what I'm saying? I got this going on, but y'all my NC pipeline. I want to get this popping, so I'm a through y'all people or whatever. Right. So all of us, everybody that our musical family that we had, everybody he had arms reached to everybody that we had affiliated.
It was brilliant. That was brilliant, man.
He had his own people that was in the Winston area or whatever that he had that he was thinking of using too, but he had a couple people because Dolo was still one of the main cats he wanted to fuck with from those days of hearing the demos and all that. He was like, yo, no, this guy, I want to fuck with him, crazy. So then I remember me and Courtney all went up there to when he was doing Rock a Block. We went to the studio. We had there playing beats and shit. He's like, oh yeah, man, I want y'all to be a part of the team.
So this doing the Sporty Thieves.
This before the Sporty Thieves.
God,
this before the Sporty Thieves.
God.
This when I'm saying this the birth of the Rock a Block. This ain't like when they rolling already.
Right,
this like he getting it started. He did the Jay-Z shit and the Camp Low shit, but he hadn't had the label yet. It was like he just had the production.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So he was like, but I think he must have solidified the deal. Yeah. But it wasn't nothing popped yet. And it was crazy because it was one artist that when we went up there, he was playing the artist that he was about to bring out. This Sporty Thieves weren't even there yet.
Okay.
It was an artist called Richie Thumbs. And I don't even know if he even came out. But that was like the artist he was ready to pop off with. Because at this time he had already did work with everybody like Lil Kim and all them, and he had already did outside work outside of the Jay-Z shit too. So he was already moving and shaking. Yeah, he had the outsider shit with Pace because he had signed Pace and them too. Right. But that hadn't came out yet. It still was like it still was fresh.
So we talking what 97, 96
in the 90s, like going into 97.
Right.
So like this was still brewing stuff. He ain't had everything wasn't affiliate. It wasn't all the way solidified yet. He had his Rock a Block because Jay-Z was saying it on records and this and that. And he had his productions he was doing for cats. Right. But it wasn't a label yet until what I'm saying. That's crazy. So man. Sporty Thieves ended up being the first artist to come out on the label. Right. But he had a couple other people, but I think something happened with the situation to where it didn't go where he wanted it to go. So then that was kind of, I think when he had the meeting with us, he was in the mix of trying to figure out what was going on because it was a transition with the label, like Rock a Block. Okay. So he was like, I want to do something else that ain't got nothing to do with that because there's too much shit going on with that. I want to create something different here. Right. So that's when he came up with that and said, okay, I'm going to move back and I want to, do this. So then he did the Carolina Blue and he started getting all the people who was in North Carolina who was making noise, doing things. He would get them to come and record joints, which ended up being the Carolina Blue mixtape. Yes. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, and that tape was crazy, bro.
And me and Dolo ended up doing that People Talk joint that Jay-Z ended up getting.
It was, because, at that particular time, I'm a student at North Carolina A&T, and I'm just not finding out that it's cats from North Carolina. Cause I was doing music, but I didn't think I could make it out of here. I'm like, ain't nobody making
like
it
ain't nobody. I got you.
But I'm finding out that Fanatic just did Crush on You. I'm finding out Ski from Greensboro. One of the members of Dana Lucci's group, I had a class with him, me and Solinsky. We had a class together.
Yeah, that's my
I ain't even know Solinsky rap. I just fell up on one of the CDs one day, and I'm like, yo, that's Carl, yo. Yeah. And that's what did it for me. That and they was playing Omniscience Amazing on the radio every day.
I remember that.
But I did not know Omniscience was from North Carolina. Right? So I'm reading the source. I see the rhyme of the month from Omniscience. I'm like, yo, he from North. I'm like, wait a minute, he from North Carolina. Ski from North Carolina. Fanatic from Greensboro.
Yeah, see, we knew all of them. We knew all of their history, so that's why even when we ran across the street, he was like, "Oh shit, y'all know about what the fuck? Like, I need to know y'all since y'all know about me."
So I'm from Wilson. Yeah. I'm thinking you ain't making it out of here. Cat's trying to make it.
I got you.
Ain't nobody making it.
You feel like that small town mentality.
Small town. Yeah, so I'm like, yo, when I go to college, I'm leaving music alone. You know what I'm saying? I get there, bro. The first day I'm there, I'm on the strip. The strip at A&T. I see Drez out there. You know what I'm saying? Drez out there selling his tape and whatnot. He ain't with Black Sheep no more. Yeah. He's solo. So all this stuff starting to sink in and set in, and I'm like, wow, man, like there's a way out of here. You know what I'm saying? So, okay, so while I'm over here, y'all already doing this.
Mm-hmm.
You already deep in everything. You know what I'm saying? With Ski, you know, you already a solidified DJ. Butta Team is here and everything. Gosh, man. So as far as you producing, because by the time I got to you, like, yeah, you was a DJ, but you was also killing niggas on beats too. Like, I seen you, you know, you'll come out to beat battles, man. Mm-hmm. Cats will be doing great. They'll be doing great. You know what I'm saying? Some of the top cats, you know, in the area. Like, cats is killing each other, man. Then you'll come out there and just crush everybody's dreams, bro. You know what I'm saying? And one thing I noticed about your production is your production hits a lot heavier. It hold the drums and all that stuff hold a lot of more weight than a lot of the other cats that was, you know what I'm saying, in the battle. And what I found out later on from you is, okay, so when I started producing Skaz, I started on a Vestax 4-track. And you know what I'm saying, like a little, you know, Boss DR88 drum machine or whatever. Yep. Wasn't sampling break beats, wasn't chopping, you know, in the pads and all that stuff, you know. That's how I was making my beats. Later on from that, I went to the ASR-X, my man Vince Woodard. ASR-X, yeah. I used his ASR-X. Then I went to a ASR 10. Which was first? What's the red box? That's the X, right?
The X is the red
okay,
box.
I went from that to an ASR 10 to an ASR X.
Okay, you went from the 10 first to the box.
Went from the keyboard to the red box, right? Yep, that my man Pocket copped and whatnot. Okay. Right? And then after that I found out about, you know, FL Studio. This is how everybody making their beats, you know, for my class now, majority. Right? Yep. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, damn, how is this man beats like hitting like that, man? It just got that, you know. You got to remember, Skaz, like, okay, like, you know, me and you ain't the same age, but we still the same generation. Yeah, we ain't that far apart, right? True, yeah. So I'm from the era of the Bomb Squad, you know, we're from the era of the Bomb Squad where cats just like layer and, you know what I'm saying? It ain't no one drum pattern and cats is layering.
Stuff going on.
You know what I'm saying?
Stuff going on.
And I'm like, damn, man, I want my stuff to sound like that. Like, how do you do it? You know? And by the time I started kicking with you and learning your technique and whatnot, I'm like, okay, he's still on the boards. You know what I'm saying? And it's just something different when your physical finger hits that pad and you just
the pressure pad is giving it more punch out the gate.
Right.
See, and if you didn't come from that, I guess that time of understanding that,
right,
and you came up in the computer digital time,
right,
you wouldn't even understand what's going on.
See,
so
I'm right there in between.
Yeah,
I'm like right there.
Because you said you was on the ASR physically, so that's still that era.
Right.
That's still that era of physically being on hardware.
But see, what I didn't have guidance on techniques.
Gotcha.
Like, I'm using these the way I know how to use them. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, but at the end of the day, I mean,
can't nobody really tell you how to do your style.
But see, I'm gonna tell you, me, I'm kind of the same way.
Right.
I had knowledge from just my trial and error, but I ain't gonna front. I had some inspiration because I was around Ski Beats and Joe Quindy and niggas,
right,
and King James and niggas who knew how to engineer and make sound. So that's when I got into engineering more. I learned techniques from that.
Right.
So it's like by the time beat battles and stuff came around, I knew how to engineer. So I could make my shit sound better because I already knew how to tweak.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't only the pads, it's me knowing how to engineer a little bit too. So that was helpful in the sound difference.
Right.
That was helpful.
I mean, even to this day, man, I go back and listen to, you know what I'm saying, some joints that, you know, you produce and whatnot, and I'm like, damn, man, it's just it hits different. You know what I'm saying? It's got this classic feel. It got bottom. You know what I'm saying? It got warmth. It doesn't sound old. You know what I'm saying? It sounds like a record. That's what's up. Should sound. You know what I'm saying? And just watching you, I learned how to layer. You know, I seen you use battery and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? I think I seen you mess with Ableton. But to this day, I don't mess with Ableton, bro. That's for the mad scientists, dog.
Yeah, honestly, Ableton, I mess with it slightly, but not really, like not like a lot. I didn't master Ableton. I mean, I could get something done in there, but
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah,
master it.
yeah.
Like, I can't. Like when we was doing a lot of stuff, I was doing most of the stuff like Pro Tools,
Right.
Logic, shit like that. That's the kind of more. But I still was always using hardware.
And see, the crazy thing about you, man, is you run right through that stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you fluent with it. You know, and another thing I noticed is like you are like MPC Akai to the core. Now you might have used some other stuff. I haven't seen it. I know you as I always known you as, you know, an MPC brother and whatnot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
to the point where
yeah, for the most part, you're right.
Right.
My favorite drum machine still is the SP1200.
Really?
But I've been a Kai for a long time. I mean, I've had, even back when I had an SP still, I had both. I had an SP and an MP.
Right.
And I would MIDI them together.
So let me ask you this, man. I should have asked you this earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And this kind of off the subject, but we still
here, so it don't matter.
I should have asked you this at the very beginning, man. The name Skaz,
okay,
right? I'm trying to figure out how you got this name.
Okay.
You know, when I see you, Skaz, you know what I'm saying? Like, you embody hip hop to the core. You know what I'm saying? I tell cats, you know, cats ask, you know, like, who is Skaz? Like, you know, how you describe, like, where's he from or whatever. I describe you, I'm like, man, he reminds you of Dougie Fresh, or the third member of the brotherhood between Jalil and Dr. Ice. He's like they third brother. You know what I'm saying? It's like you that hip hop to me. You know what I'm saying? When I see you, you either got a fresh Adidas suit on and whatnot, man, and it's just like you embody that, you know, to the core. So I'm assuming, you know, when I hear Skaz, I'm thinking Kaz. You know, I'm thinking like the Grandmaster Flash. You know, like that style of name and whatnot.
That's one of my main inspirations as well.
Like,
right. That's more of inspiration of before I was DJing.
Right.
You know, that was listening to his execution on the Grandmaster Flash and on the Adventures of Grandmaster Flash and the Wizard of Steel.
Right.
That made me like, oh yo, that whatever that was.
Yeah.
I want to have something to do with that.
Right.
Okay, but the Skaz portion came in from writing graffiti.
You done that too.
Writing graffiti.
Wow.
That's what Skaz came before DJ. All right.
Was your tag? Was that your tag?
My tag.
Okay.
Like when I was in Philly.
Right.
Like the tail end. Like, cause I ran through a couple of tag names when I was in Philly. But Skaz was the last one, and it stuck with me. So, by the time I moved back to North Carolina, I was in school. I would be tagging. I would just be writing shit. I would write Skaz Digga with some extra shit to it, to extra whole lot of extra suffixes on the end or whatever.
Right.
And I mean, you know, people start like, yo, what is that you writing? Then next thing Skaz. Okay, so then started writing so much. Then people started calling me Skaz just from me writing graffiti.
Right.
I wasn't even a DJ yet, but because of the graffiti, that's where the Skaz came. Okay. So once I became a DJ for real, the name just stuck. Originally, I forget who it was, but when I had my first daughter in '92, I forget who said it first, but somebody called me Skaz Daddy.
Okay.
So then, after that, Skaz Daddy was the name, which ended up getting shortened to Skaz Digga.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? So, but like I said, all of the elements of hip hop I've done from. So that's why the whole thing. By the time me and Dolo got together, both of us have already went through all of these stages of doing everything in hip hop,
right?
And then come together. So
by the time I get in it, right, it's crazy. By the time I get into it, you guys already done like did it. You know what I'm saying?
We done did mad
Y'all done
stuff
did it.
So by the time you came around, was I already with Kane and everything?
Yo, we're gonna have to touch on that, bro. We definitely got to touch on that.
Yeah. Okay.
And see, I think the beautiful part about all of this is I didn't find out about that aspect until way later. I had already known you for a while. You know what I'm saying? You know, the respect was already there. Everything, I already knew some history about you, and that was just the icing on the cake. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. I don't know, man. These are little questions that I had as far as, you know, your name, your origin, your background, you know what I'm saying, production and all that stuff. As far as production, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who are your... I'm not going to give you no generic question like, you know what I'm saying, who your top 5 and whatnot, but who's some of the cats that, you know, that you look to as like a reference point, you know what I'm saying, just to either get you sharp or who got you into a period as far as wanting to produce?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good question. That's a good question. But when I got into the point of paying attention to that aspect of it,
Okay.
it probably would be around the time the Gangstar really kind of started budding heavy. Public Enemy was heavy.
Yeah.
Tribe heavy. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, inspirations probably would be. It's gonna be the typical around that time frame, but different people for different reasons.
Right.
So I still have your DJ Premiers, of course. The reason why he was one of my idols, as far as production wise, was the way he chopped samples and reorchestrated them was what his technique was. Even though it's kind of like his style is kind of like a build on a Marley Marl style.
Yeah.
Him and Pete Rock is like a build on a Marley Marl style.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got your Easy Mo B.
Yeah.
Which, you know, kind of is not similar to them, but their approach is similar.
Mm-hmm.
Like their overall sound is not the same, but
right.
their approach is similar.
Mm-hmm.
Where he'll dissect pieces and then compose them to make, you know. So
right.
like, I was more intrigued by the guys who could make something out of nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
make something sound good and sound like an orchestration just with sounds.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because it was a lot of producers that would say, okay, I'm gonna loop this up, or I'm gonna loop this, or do this and do like if it's there,
right.
and that's great.
Right.
But it's easier to find that way. So it's like, okay, when you can find somebody who can make or recompose something or chop this part, that part, and then make it sound like it's a loop.
That's something.
That was when I was more intrigued.
Like you can't even hear the breaks or the chops or nothing.
And,
like
you know, somebody like that, I thought that was a loop.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, no, that's all pieces that make that. You know, so I was more intrigued with that.
Right.
So then, you know, so like I said, Primo, Pete Rock, Easy Mo B, you know, Marley Marl, of course. If I'm talking about 80s influences, then you got, like I said, you got your Marley Marl,
yes,
you got your Fresh Gordon,
yes,
you got your
Fresh Gordon. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
he did as much as he did, yo.
I ain't even gonna front. You gotta get your Herbie Love Bug.
Yeah, all day, all day, yo.
You got, but you know, he's a guy who doesn't get mentioned often. So,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Then of course, like I said, the Bomb Squad. You know, Keith and Hank and all them, and Norm. I just left Norm. He was just Terminator X was just with
right.
But I mean, they created a early standard.
Yeah.
So then it elevated to your Pete Rocks and Primos and Easy Mo B's and like that's the next generation. The Dr. Dre's, all them. Then I might have got elevated to get to more musical productions. Then it started sprouting to like your Just Blazes and ones who kind of had more orchestration and more musical elements along with sampling or along with chopping or along with you had I can't front you beat miners can't front on them. That's, you know, and believe it or not, a lot of my early hip hop experiences with doing shows and touring and shit like that, the first tour we went on was actually with Black Moon and Smith and Wesson in North Carolina area. We did Wilmington, we did Durham, we did a couple of spots in North Carolina. I can't remember everywhere, but we did probably about 3 or 4 cities. But at this time I was with my original group was 3 Below.
Right.
Then it was another group that we fused with, and then we ended up being Bum Rush.
Okay.
And we opened up for like all the acts and stuff too. So this prior to Dolo even getting all the way up, cause like we had did collaborations, but he still had his stuff in Charlotte.
Right.
He hadn't moved up here yet.
Right.
So when we was doing the Bum Rush thing, we toured with Black Moon. We did shows with KRS. I remember we did the show with KRS when he introduced Mad Ism.
Wow.
We did a show. It ended up, the spot ended up being Plum Crazy, but it wasn't Plum Crazy at the time.
This is before Plum Crazy.
Before Plum Crazy.
Jeez,
it was,
man.
like I said, I'm talking about 93,
Yeah.
94. It was Deejay. It was called Club Hollywood.
Okay.
All right. Kenny Parker had the SP Live.
Right.
In soundcheck, played the Mad Ism beat.
I know that joint. Oh God, I know that sound crazy.
Straight out the drum machine.
Coming straight out the board.
Straight out the drum machine.
No record, like.
Yep, straight out the drum machine.
Yo, I know that dog. I know that joint hit so hard.
At that spot, we opened up for KRS. We opened for Illegal. They was like little niggas. We opened for Illegal. We opened for J. Rue the Damager. It was like mad groups that came in that 93, 94-ish time.
You said Illegal. People talk about the purple tape. They'll never talk about the red tape, though.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Illegal,
but anyway, you go ahead.
But that was that. But it's like, so it just evolved later. Like I said, as far as my musical taste started evolving, my ear started, I guess, graduating a little more. So like I wanted to have the origination of chopping samples,
Yep.
but orchestrating it with music as well, or making it say, okay, I'm going to chop up this and do it this way, and then I'm going to get it recreated to be exactly like my chops, but played with musicians. You know what I'm saying? So that's when I graduated to that kind of style. But like I said, that was from the Dr. Dre's and your Just Blazes and people like that. That they was like, but Dre was more not sampling. He was more like, okay, I'm gonna recreate this from the gate.
Yo, and it'd be crazy too.
He was recreating from the start.
Yeah.
He like, okay, I'm gonna take this and we gonna play all the elements in that, but we gonna make it sound like that. But it's gonna be all the elements gonna be replayed.
Yeah.
He was one of the first that I remember to do that. To take like a sample, but recreate the whole thing to where you didn't know that it want the sample.
Yeah, because you know what? It took me a long time to realize that Eazy-E's radio is heartbeat. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize that. I'm like, this Joker just played the bass line and funked it out.
That's what I'm saying. That's what he always would do.
Yeah.
He would take something familiar
right,
and he'll put a spin on it, but so it don't even necessarily sound exactly like the song, but it's got its own like what you call them, gangster is fucking Weak at the Knees.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
saying? Took me a long time to realize that.
That's what I'm saying. It's Weak at the Knees.
And not only that, it killed me because I'm like, this stuff been right in your face, but
exactly.
It's Weak at the Knees and Ice Cube first joint. Nigga You Love to Hate.
Oh yeah,
It's the same record, but sped the hell up, yo. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I did not realize that, bro. Mm-hmm. I'm like, this stuff been right in my face the entire time, man. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, so it's like, so with him, like with Dr. Dre, was like I said, that was like, oh damn, he's taking a sample like of a familiar record,
right?
But they recreating all the parts and they putting a spin on it to where you might not even realize that's what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even if it is, you know it's it, but they got they certain distinctive way they did it. Mm-hmm. So that's what, so that later on in my production, I started thinking that way. Like, okay, all right, let's make this a recomposition. I'm going to sample and take bits and pieces, put them together, and then I want to get that created. To now it's a whole new composition because I took different parts that don't go that way and make that played in a musical chord progression.
You're giving away too much sauce now. You know that, right? But now my wheels is like, wait a minute, that's how you been doing that? Yo, you're giving away too much sauce, dog.
Man.
Too
but
much.
But I ain't never been somebody to hold that type of information.
Ever, bro. And see, that's one of the reasons that it was important for me to get this interview, man, because I learned a lot from you that you just openly talk. You know what I'm saying? You know, and it's funny because the major cats, and I'm gonna use that. The major cats didn't mind giving information. It's like the cats that's coming up, they want to give it up. You know what I'm saying? Like I learned a lot from you. I learned a lot from Ninth. You know what I'm saying? Y'all two sources alone are two sources of cats that I learned a lot from. You know what I'm saying? It's others. You know what I'm saying? But just to see where both of you guys in particular are at in y'all career. And with the fact that y'all openly gave, game out like that, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. That meant a lot. You know what I'm saying? You a tech head too, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, cats will come to you to get either the latest mix or they'll come to you for you to get their MacBook straight and whatnot. I seen you do both, fluently. How do you feel about... This is crazy, man. I know it seems like I'm jumping all over the place, but
don't matter.
Man, we're gonna put it together.
Yeah, we here.
How do you feel about the technology that's out now? Like, how did you feel when Fruity Loops first came out? How did you feel with the Serato stems? When Serato came out, how did you feel? I can go back with you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're right.
How do you feel from the two turntables to the controller? You know what I'm saying? Like. How do you view this? Is it a hindrance? Do you implement it in what you already know? Like
that's good. That's the way I always took it personally.
Right.
Was I always took it as I looked at the technology as making it more accessible. Yeah. But not necessarily it being a hindrance, because used the right way, it could implement and be, it could be brilliant. And that's what it was never a point that I can recall where I was like dissing certain things just cause, no, it ain't this. I'm like, yo, at the end of the day, It ain't the machine, it ain't the whatever, it's whatever the person's, their capability or their creativity level is more based on that than the equipment itself. Right. So I wasn't one to say, well, now he make his beats on Fruity Loops, so it ain't more real than me doing it on the home. I never was that. Right. I was like, if he make it sound hot on that, then he make it sound hot. That's what it is. Right. Like, right. But I do remember one distinctive time, my first time sitting down with Knife Wonder at his apartment, and seeing how he would chop the sample on the computer. And the thing that was crazy was this. I had a computer, but I came from hardware. Yeah. So I didn't even use the computer in my setup like that. Right. I just had the computer was just there. I ain't use it in my setup. But then when I seen that, I was like, damn, why didn't I fucking think of that shit? Bruh. I ain't gonna front. I was like, why didn't I think of that? I was like, I got a computer, but I don't even use it in that sense. But I didn't. But even when I did that, I didn't even follow like the specifics. Right. I didn't say, oh, well, let me get Fruity Loops and try to do it that way. Right. Or let me get Cool Edit and do it that way. No. I said, oh, damn, that's brilliant. So then by the time, right after that, then a guy approached me about opening a studio in Raleigh. Right. And he wanted me to tell him what equipment to get. And this was like early Pro Tools. Digio 1. Wow. So I'm like, yeah. I heard about Pro Tools, and I think that's the move to road. So we did Pro Tools. Digio, he went and bought me a Digio 1. Like, boom, okay, learn how to use this shit. I'm going to get all the rest of the equipment for the studio, but you take that and you just learn it. Okay, so that's when I put the computer in the mix. Right. Then, so I didn't say, because I seen him do Fruity Loops and Cool Edit and Chop that way, I was like, okay, well, I got this, so let me figure out a way to incorporate it this way. So when I did use my computer, I figured out how to chop it in Pro Tools and do it that way. So then I kind of came up with a way. Once I started learning some other like plugins and VSTs and stuff, then I started saying, okay, I'm gonna take that same analogy and just apply it to something different. But I was using hardware to trigger it. Which that was the difference. Yeah. I won't just click in and step programming and I'm used to coming from hardware, so I figured out how to incorporate the hardware with that. Right. So used it as an asset. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't mad at it because once I saw the capability, because I come from an SP1200, I got 10 seconds.
So you got mad floppy disks.
I gotta do what I can do on the beat in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
I gotta speed that shit up way up, top of parts. And then like it was so crazy when we was doing SP joints back in the days. Nigga hear my beats, they like, how the fuck you get that much time in the SP? You chipped it out? I'm like, nah, I just figured out a way to fucking stretch shit out and make it. I mean, cause look, me and Dolo come from an era of just the SP, not like Pete Rock and them using the SP and Ski Beats and them using SP and a 950. Right, so they got double time. We only got the SP time, so we only thinking SP time. And then when we figuring out how to stretch shit, niggas like, you got some extra time or something? Like, how the fuck you got that much in the SP?
Right.
Everything on 45.
Yeah.
45 all the way sped up plus 12. You know what I'm saying? Piecing it together. But then, but see, even the pieces in the SP, they had like a little thing where you can extend the pieces. So I would make the piece stand at the end to give it a little tail to go into the next sound. So I might have 2 loops.
Right.
Like one sequence might be a 8 bar, then the next sequence is 8. They're like, how the fuck you get 2 8 bars? You know what I'm saying? How the fuck? But I was still chopping anyway. So it's like, how you get 2 8 bars in an SP by itself? But because I was doing a little trickery. But then once I learned about adding, see, because it was like, we come from 10 seconds. So then when I seen him do that, he put on the computer, he put the whole song in there. And then I'm like, what the fuck?
That's my
knife. Yeah.
Yo, bro, like
you put the whole song and you could sample the whole jam.
Nah,
what the fuck?
His process is crazy.
I said, bro. I came from that, like seeing that, like, oh wow, you can take the whole song and then you just take different pieces from the different. What the fuck? Like that, I'm like, what?
And rearrange them
exactly
and chop little pieces out and line it up perfect because there was no
timeline. You had to
in that copy and paste. I mean, in that version of Cool Edit that he was working with.
It wasn't no grid or no.
There was no grid.
No grid.
So he had to line it up.
You got to line it up, move it yourself to get it, nudge it to get it.
Yo,
man.
That Joker made every loop like that.
Yep.
Then he'll bring it in FL Studio
and then program the drums. Step the tracks, program the drums.
That was a tedious process.
It is.
You know what I'm saying?
So that's why I respected the hell out of that shit. I was like, seeing it, I'm like.
Yeah, that was a tedious process, bro. Like, for real.
So I feel like, to be honest, I feel like when he came with that style of doing it, it was just amazing, just the process. So it's like, he get praised because of that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Alone. Like, that shit is like, oh, word, you made this like that?
And it's crazy. It's crazy because it's like, it made me realize, because when I met him, I was already making beats off FL Studio, right? What was called Fruity Loops then. When I seen how he used it, I'm like, damn, I'm not using this.
You're not using it. Yeah,
I'm just not like he using this like a beat machine.
Yeah, exactly.
And it never dawned on me to. Yep. And when I say like a beat machine, I mean load your own stuff.
Yeah,
don't
not
use
just
stock
use stock.
sounds.
Just use the stock.
Like go get your own stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't know how to chop drums out of breaks. I didn't know that was the process. Yeah. I'm from a small town, and the cats who know, they didn't want to tell me. You know what I'm saying?
So you gotta just experiment or try whatever you think.
Right, man. And nobody would tell me. Nobody would tell me. I met one cat named DL. He showed me how to do it, and then by the time I got the knife showed me swing. Cause I ain't no swing. I was going straight in.
Yeah, swing.
I was making my drums straight in. You know what I'm saying? Ain't had no, no swing.
Yeah, no feel. Like but that's something that's usually a later process.
Yeah,
learning that is usually later.
Yeah, man. Now that's production. Now as a DJ, right? With everything that's going on right now, you come from the era where you know how to blend. You know what I'm saying? You know how to. And people who don't know what blending is, that's when you take an instrumental of one song, one totally different, complete, song, and mix it with something that has no business being with, the instrumental or the song that you previously picked. And now they got it so, you can drop everything. You can
create it on the fly and do it.
You can do it on the fly, while you doing a party. Like,
yeah.
How do you feel about that though?
I feel like it's a tool. I mean,
okay.
At the same time, I feel like
you're not a slave to it.
Nah, that's not a slave at all.
Right.
Because I can do it the original way.
Right,
See,
right.
Coming
right.
from the original, like being able to do it the original way,
Yep.
it's just like, oh, it's added to the repertoire. Only thing that I feel, and this is not with only just that, it's like with just how technology has expanded and all of this, and when people get into it late in the game,
yeah,
and that's what they rely on, it's like, I feel like it should be the reward of going through the whole long process that we used to go through to get to end result.
Right.
It should be your prize to get it now, like with all the extra technology stuff that you can do and all the enhancements and all this and that. That should be the reward of dues paid.
Right.
From this. I feel like it shouldn't just be where being that this is out, I can just start right now, and then I can
like an entry point. For
you.
It shouldn't be an entry point.
It shouldn't be an entry point. That's the only problem I got.
You should know the foundation and fundamentals of what you're getting into.
Yeah, that's the only part.
And don't just get into it where it's at right now.
Yeah, that's the only thing. But but I'm not mad at it.
Right.
I'm not mad that somebody get to start at this for real.
Right.
I just feel like you should just have to work hard to get to
that.
having that. You know what I'm saying? Versus having to jump right into it.
Yeah.
That's where the entitlement comes.
Right,
Same
right.
thing as entitlement.
Hey man, that's probably one of the best answers that I've ever heard. Anybody that knows the original ways of, composing or mixing or DJing or anything, that's the best answer I've ever heard. Because cats from our era, they bash it right off. You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking at it like, okay, well, you ain't got to carry around a bunch of crates anymore.
Oh shit, bro!
You know what I'm saying?
Bruh, I came from that era, so like I said, I feel like that's the reward for carrying all this stuff around and lugging it and not having to be selective with. Let me make sure I got the stuff that I'm gonna rock.
Right.
Let me make sure, or shit. This is what I should go through, because we getting records every day, every whatever. So then when you got to do a party, you might be like, damn, I gotta condense this. It's getting tight. Then you gotta be like, going through. I might not play this. Let me take this. You know what I'm saying? I can't take this because it's getting too tight. I gotta take this. So you have to start condensing each time. Like after a few months, you gotta be like, I ain't really playing this no more. I ain't doing this as much. Let me take this out to put something that needs to go in there. That's the thing. It's like you had to condense what you brought, or you're gonna be bringing 100 crates. You don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? So, and me being on the road early on, having to take a bag with mad records or carry or
Did
try
you do
to,
that?
Yeah. I had to early on. I had to travel with a bag with records, and wasn't no computers yet.
Right.
I mean, Serato. When I first got with Kane traveling, that wasn't popping yet.
Wait a minute. You got with Kane before Serato started popping.
Hell yeah.
Oh man, we got that boy. We got to get into that, boy.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I'm gonna stay on DJing for just a moment
Okay, cool.
because I want to know.
Nah, no doubt.
So you cool with the whole MP3 DJing with MP3s and stuff like that?
Yeah,
okay.
I'm fine with it.
So my next question is this: how do you feel about the whole streaming phenomenon? Because now you can DJ.
We're streaming. Yep, you're right.
How do you feel about
that?
That? From a DJ point of view and from a creator's point of view, how do you feel about that?
It's still kind of the same answer about the accessibility, man. It's like certain things now may be a little too accessible.
I'm about to say that one looked like it kind of irked you.
It's a little too accessible.
Right.
Like, you don't have to put in as much work on the knowledge or the search for the knowledge.
Yeah.
Because it's already just given to you as a smorgasbord.
Right.
So it doesn't come off as innovative.
Right.
Or as next level because of it. You know what I'm saying? So,
yes, sir.
So even with that, taking that in a sense of producing and flipping and chopping and all that. Just like me now, it's like I might take something familiar just to do it.
Right.
But I want to change that shit up so much that you like, oh damn, you did that out of that. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's something super familiar that you know,
Yeah.
I want to do that just for that reason.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't want to take whatever's super familiar and just loop it up. I want to make sure it's like way different to where you like, oh shit, okay, that's your take on that.
Right.
But you kind of still know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I want you to kind of know what it is, but so you can appreciate what it became.
Well, to me, what it sounds like you're talking about now is the music of today and how they trying to catch lightning in a bottle that happened before.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to come up with something innovative, you know. But our era went through that same thing when we sampled, you know.
Yeah.
I guess the only thing that gets us now is they're making records, sampling records that sampled records.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Like,
That's true.
Like, they sampling stuff that already got a beat in it and everything.
Yeah,
like, you know,
It's like they taking the sampled creation of it.
Right.
See, with us, we gonna look for the original creation of that. Even if we trying to say something that's familiar, you want to find where the original source is,
right?
And then find what's in that and make your own shit out of that. Not okay. It's like you said, they sampled it, then you find it. Now you're sampling what they sampled and all the extra stuff they added,
right?
And putting stuff on top of that. And
that's right. That's what I'm saying.
That's where it becomes something else.
That's where it got me. I'm like, okay,
yeah, that's where it becomes something else.
Dang. And I noticed that when, like, if you look in the right places, you will see that Lotto's record "Big Energy" is a sample of Mariah Carey's record.
Yeah,
but I'm like, wait a minute.
I mean, it's kind of, but it ain't.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
It's
like,
kind of, but it ain't. It's like, no, they kind of replayed it, but they replayed it with her version,
right?
Instead of the Genius of Love,
right. That's what I'm saying. I don't hear Genius of Love mentioned at all.
Yeah,
and I'm like, that's crazy. Yo.
But that's because of Lotto, the era that she is.
Yeah.
She don't know the Genius of Love. She got it from Fantasy. She got it from Mariah Carey. She didn't get it from Genius of Love. That's why. It's like, so to that defense.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
To that defense, if they don't know that it's a sample of a sample, then they gonna say it's that's. I'm gonna tell you one prime example that made me realize how real that is.
Okay.
I was working with Mark Steele for his record.
Yep.
And he did what song he do? Big Dreams. The Big Dreams 2 or whatever. Okay. He sampled Mary J. Blige "Take Me As I Am."
Okay.
Well, he didn't sample it, but who did the track for him sampled it.
Right.
But when he was explaining it to people, he like, no, he said we let the Butta Team hit a record.
Wait a minute, that's the record that got the Jay-Z Dead President sample.
Exactly.
Okay, go ahead.
That's where I'm going with it. That's where I'm going with it.
That's
where I'm going with it. It's like that's where I'm going with it. So when we played the record, and he played it for like me and Mike and I think Bro Rab or somebody, and he was like, yeah, you gonna know this. Such, you know, I sampled it. He's like, he let it play. And then in the first line, he said something about something today when I listening to the MJ and and we like, yeah, and he like, yeah, I know it's the Mary J joint. And we like, yeah, but that's Jay-Z, like, but he sampled Mary J version.
Right.
And he's referring,
because it was played over. It was played over on the Mary J version, wasn't it?
Nah. Well, yeah, on the
it was played over. Yeah.
So, but he's referring to that as his reference point.
Yeah.
So we like, yeah, but this is Jay-Z and Lonnie Listed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
we going back. Like,
yeah.
And he's like, no, this Mary J.
He challenged
no, this.
No. By this time, Mark is how old?
No, I mean,
I'm just saying. He been around y'all long enough to know better than to challenge y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean,
shout out to Mark Steele though, man. Dope MC,
he's
man.
dope. He's dope. I mean, he's
but he been around with y'all for a long time.
Yeah, he been around since he was a youngster.
Right.
Yeah, but I was just the fact that he was going that route with it. It's like, you should know definitely because you've been around. Like,
Yeah.
man, we trying to help a little bit more. Like, okay, like we trying to make him like not say like when he go around somebody who know.
Yeah.
And you kind of like arguing that point, and you like, I mean, we gonna set you up. Like, okay, like you need to know all of these because I don't want you to get caught up in that. Yeah. It's Mary J, but it's this and it's this. So I want you to know that. You know what I'm saying?
Man, that's gonna be an ongoing argument forever, though, man. I remember when my kids was kids.
Oh yeah.
And Teach Me How the Dougie came out.
Oh.
And I'm like, where y'all think this came from, yo? They didn't come up with this. Like, Dougie is a real person.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me show you how to,
they don't even get it.
Let me show you how to Dougie for real, yo.
Yeah, they don't even get it. But see, I think Dougie Fresh has actually did a good job with doing that.
Yeah, you talking about educating and
now he has. I'm gonna tell you something ill. Like, we just did a show with Dougie like 2 months ago in, what's it, Dallas or Houston, one of them. Okay, all right. He did something so real that it was like he doing his show. And then when he go into the, he gonna do the kind of the origination of the Teach Me How to Dougie shit.
Right.
But this nigga stopped and said, hold up. All right, now I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna show you how the new generation kind of, and he brought out the nigga who did my Dougie.
Yeah.
Big Will nigga.
Yeah.
And he brought him out to perform.
He bridged the gap.
And just to let them know, like, oh shit, like he like, and I got a relationship with him, so he gives it up to me, like, for creating this. So that was like, oh, that's kind of dope.
And that, you know what? That's the biggest problem in hip hop right now. The biggest
gap.
It ain't the fact that the older cats are trying to stop the youth or not supporting the youth. Even though that's a real thing, it is real in some instances.
Sometimes it is real.
I think the bigger problem is, like, they don't, the younger cats, might not reach back and be like, I got it from this. Or this is who inspired me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just get a salute.
That's one thing.
Get a homage.
That is a major thing that doesn't happen a lot.
Right, just do that. Move on with the rest of your career.
But see,
you know what I'm saying?
This is...
Everybody don't do that, though. It's a lot of young cats that
it's some that do it. But I'm going to tell you, I think somebody said this, and I just seen an interview. Oh, KRS said it.
Right.
He said, the youth that listen to the older become wise to, innate standpoint, for the youth, they become super wise. Mm-hmm. In the opposite way, the older people who listen to the youth become wiser in that atmosphere too.
Because it got to go both ways.
It's got to go both ways in order for it to be effective. And if it's only one way, then it's gonna sound like you just trying to
tower over them.
Exactly.
Like you trying to, when you can learn, both of y'all can learn from each other.
Yep.
That's how cats like. That's how cats like you stay around. That's how cats like now you stay around. The Jermaine Dupri's, the Dr. Dre's, the successful cats that's out now. That's how they stay around because they keep their ear to what's coming. You know what I'm saying? Next and whatnot. And they don't try to emulate it. They try to make it theirs. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I like this new technique. I like this new style. I'm not going to necessarily go that way, but how could I implement some of this technique into what I got? You know what I'm saying? Yep. And that's how you stay alive, yo.
You're right.
So that's dope. That's dope.
Right.
That's dope, man. So the inevitable thing that I have to ask you, man, bro, how in the world did you end up DJing for one of the greatest MCs of all time, bro?
Yeah, buddy. Yeah.
And if y'all don't know, Skaz is Big Daddy Kane's official DJ. Now, Kane is from Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember Mr. C being his original DJ. Yep. Phenomenal DJ, even to this day.
Yeah, big up Mr. C. That's
don't miss show everything. Yeah. Kane DJs himself.
Yep.
Had access to Marley Marl. He one of the most celebrated MCs of all time. Like Nas say, name a rapper that I ain't influenced, but Kane can really say, name a rapper that I ain't influenced. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like straight
true.
up and down.
That's true too.
With all the access he had to almost any DJ around at that time, you know what I'm saying? How did you get that position, bro?
Oh, okay. That's I think that's like it's a process. But the main thing is I was making my mark in this market as a DJ heavy in the 90s. Heavy.
Right.
So he would commute here to come hang out, chill.
Okay.
And he would hear me or hear about me or
Mm-hmm.
keep hearing everything coming this way, that way. Oh, this guy I keep hearing about this guy like that. Then he might come to a club just hanging out on the low.
And you the
I'm
man.
in there rocking. You're like, okay. So it was supposed to be a chance meeting in the 90s, in like around 94, 95-ish. It was supposed to be a chance meeting with me and him, because he was still kind of in the area off and on a lot, because he ended up getting a crib in Raleigh at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like I said, he stayed kind of on the low, but he was around.
It was like an urban legend, bro.
Yeah, but
it was an urban legend for a long time.
But at the same time, it was a singing group that I went to high school with.
Okay.
That he ended up being their manager. He was their manager.
Okay.
So I had a good relationship with them from, because, going to high school with them, they was doing music, I was DJing and all that stuff, so we kind of already had a good relationship just from that. So they saw me come up on the DJ side.
Right.
So when he started managing them, and he being here a lot, they was kind of like, yo, you might need to check out this guy here, because
Right.
That was one in his ear, like, yo, this guy right here,
okay,
he does So I had already been making my marks and my rounds. Like speaking of earlier, when I said the Black Moon and Smith and Wesson touring,
mm-hmm.
when they came to Durham, I DJ'd the show. I was the house DJ, the host DJ of the show.
And being that Smith and Wesson from Brooklyn.
Yeah, Smith and Wesson and Black Moon. No, not they ain't had nothing to do with the Kane thing.
Okay.
But they had to do with my DJ thing, because I ended up DJing it. This before we was touring with them.
Right.
Okay. Travis Gales, which used to be on 97.5 at the time. He still, this is the guy who he one of the guys who first recognized me as being a dope cat.
Right.
Because he went to school with Nabs, and they
Nabs,
they used to be rocking together.
Yep.
A lot. So he saw me on the scene, and then he let me loose, and I kind of rocked out. I kind of killed and did something crazy. And Evil D and them ladies was like, who the fuck is that? Like, oh shit. So it's like I did something. I think I might have did something like Peter Pipe or something that he was gonna do.
Wow.
But I did something crazy where he was like, oh, ain't no need to do that. Like, nah, I ain't even no need to do that. So I had got respect just on some turntables and shit, like in front of that, in front of them.
Yeah.
And they kind of like, oh, this guy, like they kind of like remembered me, and like So then maybe about a year or so later, I'm with the group, the Bum Rush group, and then we go to tour with them.
Right.
And they see me like, you again? Like, oh shit. Like, yeah.
I keep seeing you.
Yeah, like,
right.
Oh shit. Okay. But I'm saying, I'm making my round. But see, I was one of the guys who studied everything. So it's like, I was an all around. I could do mixtapes. I can rock a party. I can do turntables. I can do everything. Like, I wasn't just one. A lot of DJs might be one dimensional.
They got their pocket.
Either this,
yeah.
They either a club DJ and that's it, or they a turntablist and that's it, But I was like, I got mixtapes. I got turntablism. I can rock a party. I can MC on the party, like all that shit too. And I could do all this. Yes. It ain't just one dimension. So it's like, damn, you got all this stuff going. oh shit, like you can be next level with it. So then I started doing all the big show all the time. Any artists come to the area, I'm doing a big show.
Right.
I'm doing a show. So my name is just ringing and ringing and ringing. I'm everywhere. So then it's like he leave. I think he leaving. Like I ain't get to meet him at like 94, 95.
Right.
Because they was trying to plug me, but it just didn't happen. But he already been kind of. I'm keeping it. I'm keeping it in the cup.
Right.
Okay. So then I'm still out here making noise. He moved back to New York. I'm still making noise, doing all the shit, everything. So then he comes back. I want to say like 99. He come back 99. And I'm still killing it. And he like, he still keep hearing about me. I think he came to one of the clubs again and I'm in there rocking.
Right.
So he like, this guy just keep popping up. So then, a mutual friend, somebody who already was cool with him, he was a promoter that I was DJing stuff, you know, for.
Doing shows and stuff for him. Right.
For. Like, he was partnered with Brian Dawson at the time.
Wow.
And, because I used to do their shit too. I used to do, like, Brian Dawson parties and stuff like that. So I was doing a lot of the events. So, but I still was doing the studio at the time. So I still had the studio in the crib. I was, you know, but I still was working full time too.
Right.
I was working
like regular job.
I worked at Radio Shack.
I remember hearing
which I got certification. That's how I do all the tech shit. That's how I know about the tech shit because I've been tech from I started working at Radio Shack in '95.
Yes, sir.
And when I got with Kane, that's when I stopped.
Wow, man.
But so he keep hearing about me. Then this guy that we both know that I'm doing events for, he know him directly, so he know, oh, he got the studio, okay. So Kane asked about, well, who in the area can I go, you know, record something with, you know, he point me in the right direction. Right. So he pointed them to me. He came to my studio with Boogie D from Greensboro, from 102. Well, it used to be on 102 back in the days. They was doing like a Fat Man Scoop type of joint.
Right.
And he wrote the record for him. All right, so they come to the crib. Excuse me. We doing everything. We kicking it, whatever he, you know, they doing. He handling his business. I'm handling mine. I'm recording, doing the engineer shit, whatever. Boom, boom, boom. All right. So once we finish and we conduct business, boom. Like, how much it costing them? We paying? Then he like, yo, I already know about you, bro. What you think about? Like, he's just like, I already know about you. What you think about going on the road? Like, just like that.
Can you give me that feeling, man? Like, bro, take your time too. Like, you gotta understand, man. Kane,
he found me.
Kane is my favorite rapper, bro. Yeah, so I need you to understand. How did you feel, bro, when he made that proposal to you to go on the road? Now you a prominent DJ. You already know the history. You know the Juice Crew history. It's
surreal as hell. Trust me, it's surreal because even when we in this session,
right? We
handling business. I'm chilling. I'm doing whatever, but we kind of talking on some regular shit too. Right. And then he's seeing where my head at too. He's seeing what I know. He's all this stuff.
Right.
He's paying attention to all of this because he's that kind of guy. He's an observant kind of. He's really doing shit for a purpose, and he got a method to kind of how he maneuver.
Right.
Like even when he talking to people or how he does, he kind of got a purpose.
Right.
And he's seeing certain things to see if it's going to line up with kind of his plan or whatever he's thinking. So that's kind of how he worked.
Right.
So when we talking, he kind of seeing where I'm at. And then he's seeing like my knowledge. He's seeing all this stuff. Seeing that I know what I'm doing with this. And then oh, okay. So he like all this is, you know, so he already, you know, it won't just about, I seen you DJ did it.
No, he's seeing
more shit than
behind
just
the curtain and too. How you react behind the curtain.
Yeah, he's seeing more than just that.
It's crazy, man.
So it's like when he asked me, it was like, wow, oh shit. Well, what I supposed to say? No, like, go ahead, like, what I supposed like, if I said no, what the, and the reason I'm gonna tell you something crazy.
You just did. But go ahead.
Yeah, that's even crazy. But something crazy was prior to getting with Kane.
Right.
I turned down like 2 potential situations. One was rocking with Ski, doing some shit. The next one, was I had this group out of Raleigh that I founded called North Click.
I remember hearing about North Click.
Which was
I didn't know you founded them though.
Brolic D, Small World.
Yeah, right.
I was DJing at Club Iguanas in Raleigh.
That was the club, man. It used to be the Ritz.
Right next to the Ritz.
Okay, right next to the Ritz. Okay, yeah.
Iguanas right next to it.
Dang, that was the joint. You DJ at the
I DJed the Ritz.
Yo, we can end this
club
right now, bro.
like I'm gonna tell you realistically.
God, man.
Any club from Greensboro to Oxford.
I did that.
Any club.
Wow.
Any shit
man.
that was big, I was in there.
Golly,
any
man.
shit. Like you can ask anybody around. I'm not just saying it. You can ask anybody.
Dude, I
anybody who been around,
believe
anything that was mega big or whatever, I've been in there DJing.
God.
The only club that I didn't physically DJ in that was super big was Kamikaze. My man Billy Bill DJ'd in there, but I didn't never DJ. I used to go and kick it with him and him and Special G and them, but I never DJ'd in Kamikaze. God. But any other major spot from that point on, all of them, Power Company, fucking the Ritz, the Plum Crazy, any major club, I've rocked in it. In this market, any club major.
Plum Crazy was gone before I even got old enough to even go up in that bad boy.
No, because Plum
was right there.
Plum Crazy won't no long run. That's what we was talking.
But it was legendary.
No, it's legendary. It's legendary.
It was legendary though,
but
bro.
see, I'm thinking like, me seeing the history of going through clubs and shit like that.
Yeah.
Clubs didn't last more than 2 years, bro. 2 years popping, and that's it. On to the next.
Right.
Even if it changed, even if it was the same spot and they just flipped it.
Right.
2 years, flip to something different.
Yeah. I never thought about that. But now I'm
every
thinking about
major
it, you're right.
spot, 2 year run is the longest.
God.
Some of them didn't make 2 years, but 2 years was the long. Like that was a long run. 2 years was a long run.
Okay. So you get the job with Kane, right? Mm-hmm. Do you remember y'all first? Event? Your first event with him? Mm-hmm. What was it?
Did a show in Miami.
Okay.
Because when he came and approached me,
had you already been to Miami at that point?
Nope.
Let's go.
When we had the meeting at the house, and he said, "What you think about going on the road?" And we dealt through that spiel.
Right.
I was like, "Oh, of course." He said, "All right, I got a show this coming weekend. I already took care of all the stuff, so we're gonna go. The following weekend we got a show in Miami.
So we ready to go."
Yeah.
Right.
Following show we got a show in Miami, so I'm gonna put you on that one. But this week I already got that situated.
Right.
But I'm 2 weeks. Alright. So then he go to the show the week before, he come to the house. And he gives me a DAT with the stuff.
The joints, the jams
the stuff
on
we're gonna use.
Right.
Stuff. And it's crazy as hell, and I don't know if people believe me, but we've never practiced or rehearsed no set unless it was a band.
Wow.
It's like he come and say, we'll talk, we're gonna do this, stop here, this, and we just get up there and do it. It's been like that from the start.
And he performs like,
and he's a meticulous,
he's a performer.
And he's meticulous as hell. So we just had that type of chemistry, and then it was like because he's real particular and he's meticulous, but he kind of allowed me to bring certain elements to it as well.
Right.
That kind of makes our show be our show. You know what I'm saying? But like, it just was like, we're going to do XYZ, and we just do it. It ain't no like, okay, we're going to practice this, we're going to go over it, and when we get right here, I want you to stop, and then we go over it. Oh, no, you ain't do it right. Let's do it again. Like, never none of that. It's just in the fire. Like, we're going to do this. Get up there. Boom, let's rock. And we rock, and it worked.
That's crazy, man.
I mean, that's what I say. I don't know if everybody will believe that, but
I mean, I seen you guys. You know, I seen you guys live.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And it looked like a well thought out, well practiced show.
we just had that type of chemistry.
That's crazy, man.
We just had that type of. That's why it's 23 years later. That's why it's 23 years later.
Right,
like,
right.
Mr. C even came to me like,
you've been DJing for 23
years. Mr. C was like, yo, no. Like, we do shows, Mr. C around there, he's like, no, this is Big Daddy Kane's DJ. He's been here way longer than me. This is Big Daddy Kane's DJ. I started, but this is Big Daddy Kane's DJ. Like, Kane was like, there you go. He's like, yo, even with Mr. C, from when we started rocking in high school, you done doubled that. Us together.
Yeah, right.
He said they started rocking in high school, and Mr. C rock. They rock together from high school to I want to say 93, 94, something like that.
Gosh, man.
And I rock with them from like the end of 99 on into 2000.
I didn't know you've been rocking with them that long, bro. That is crazy.
That shit.
Man, you know how it feels when. I just wish you could sit in my shoes for a minute, man. When you know your homie, like it's some classic Kane footage out here, right? Mm-hmm. Just to see your homie, like a part of that, it's historic footage, man. Mm-hmm. The one that I because I never really looked to see if you was there. Mm-hmm. But because the performance of Kane is so crazy that I couldn't even focus on anything else. But there's this video of Kane rapping over Rock the Mic, Freeway.
That's me.
He drops the mic.
Yep.
That's you. Mm-hmm. That's crazy, man. Yep. That's a legendary clip, man. Mm-hmm. So y'all didn't practice the routine. Yo, Skaz, I'm gonna ask you this one more time,
We just say, okay. We just say, all right. This is how it came about.
Please, bro.
He just was like...
Hold on. Skaz is explaining the Big Daddy Kane clip of Kane freestyle over Rock the Mic where he drops the mic and then picks it back up. But go ahead, dog.
Okay. Honestly, like that was one of the first routine type things we did. Originally, it wasn't even that beat. Like, that was because that still was like, I think the first time I remember, I can't say the first exact time,
right?
But one made like it's almost early though, early in the game. The most memorable time when we did that. Will Smith, Jada Pinkett's birthday party.
You DJ'd at Will Smith and Jada Pinkett's birthday party,
and I'm gonna tell you what's crazy. What's the She was pregnant with Willow. That's how long ago it was. And Willow is what, about 20?
Yeah, about
22 maybe, 21, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
It was like within the first couple years that me and Kane got together. That was when we did this. It might have been 2000. Charlie Mack. It might have been 2002, 2001, 2002, something like that.
You met Charlie Mack.
That's my dude.
Just go ahead.
First out the level was my guy.
Wow, man.
Yeah. So that's one of the first times I remember we did this routine, and it killed so much. But we just said, he said, this how we came up. He came up with like, all right, I got a joint where I want to do this. I'm gonna say these couple of lines, and then I want the beat to stop, and I'm gonna do something, and then I want you just to bring it back when I finish the line.
Right.
It was just explained like that. That was it. But I think the first beat I remember we used to use was that Def Squad joint. Was it Def?
Oh yeah.
On the Def Squad album,
right.
I think it was. Okay, that was the first joint we used to use. All right, so he had a joint where it was like, I'm gonna do 4 lines,
right,
and then I want you to start the beat, and I'm gonna do this, drop the mic shit, and then the next line, it's gonna set it. I mean, it's gonna kill it, and you just bringing it back. So it's like, all right, boom. So the first memorable time was at that party. The who's who, any and everybody you could think of.
I can't
in
even
Hollywood.
imagine.
Because it's in Universal Studio in Hollywood.
Right.
So anybody that's on TV or on movies that you can think of
At this party.
they right here.
God have mercy.
Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer, Eddie Murphy, Nas, of course, Fresh Prince, all them. I ran into Mike City there. Because, I knew Mike City from Central.
Right.
But that's when I ran into him when he had moved to L.A. Mm-hmm. I ran into him at this party. When he first, then that's when he tell me, you remember Sunshine from Central? We about to kill it. that was the intro right there.
And they killed it, yo.
That was the intro.
And they killed it, bro.
So we do this. And I remember we do the freestyle, boy. Will and everybody going crazy. We're like, boom. He said, to keep the whole cream. They say, the tall black player coming from the Brook Hood. And then that's when the beat stopped. And you be like, then you pick it up like, drop shit, still make it look good. Boom, the beat come back. They be like, oh, first everybody was like, it was going crazy. He dropped the minute. He was like, oh, what the fuck? Everybody look crazy, like, ah. And then he say that line, niggas go, oh. Everybody go crazy. Everybody go crazy.
That clip never gets old,
that shit,
man.
Yeah, that shit, So, yeah, like I said, I want to say about 2002 maybe. So then Rock the Mic come out, 2003, 2004, somewhere around there. So we just flipped it,
Mm-hmm.
But we stopped doing that joint. But it was like, that shit would kill. That shit would kill every time, bro. We did that shit.
That joint, man, I was like, God.
But see, you got to think. This is a guy, the reason why he's relevant this long and why people still want to see him perform is because he takes the time to think about showmanship and to make sure that I come with something that people are going to always want to see and want to identify with. So take a lot of pride in the showmanship, man. And he trusts me that way too because he knows I care about that shit too. So it's like I tell a lot of people now, it's like, especially the younger generation that might look like, who? Big Daddy Kane? Who's that? Like, I don't hear his songs on the radio. You know what I'm saying? If they don't hear nothing, they don't know. Mm-hmm. But it's like, but you always you always doing shows and you always doing it. People like him like that. I'm like, yes. And the reason being is because you don't have to have a hit record right this second. If you know how to present yourself, and you see some people want to see you on stage, they want to keep seeing you on stage. It ain't about your hit record. It's about what you bring into the stage. So when artists just come on the stage and don't even care how that looks, they're not going to be wanting to see you 5 years, 10 years, 20. They're not going to want to see you if you don't care about how your presentation is or how you look on stage. Just because you got a hit record, when your hit record go away, if you don't put on a good stage show, you're not going to keep getting shows. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not going to happen.
Right.
The fact that he takes pride into how he presents himself and those around us. So even when we do shows and we have other people involved, it's still a presentation. Right. So we want to make sure that presentation comes off that way. I remember when we did the Juice Crew reunion show, it's like he kind of came up with most of the presentation of it, but some of the people might not necessarily saw the vision yet until
of the whole show altogether, or just y'all part
of a lot of the show altogether. Okay. How this transition to that, or how this goes to that, or this how this goes to that.
Right.
Because I ended up DJing for most of the whole Juice Crew.
Wow.
When we did the shows, because we put it together, kind of to present it a certain way to make it impactful. But everybody didn't always see the benefit of it until later in the tour.
So they seen after how people were responding to it and stuff like that.
Yeah, like so it's like, okay, we say we start the tour. We doing it this way, and we got this certain thing that we kind of got it orchestrated. Like, so say Shantae come out, she kind of host it, but then she do like a song or two.
Got to.
All right, boom. But Shantae is freestyle. She even the song she doing, she only do like a verse or part of a verse, and then she freestyler. You know, if we do more, she freestyling off the top, because that's her. You know what I'm saying? So then when she host and bring in the next person in, I think who might have been first? I think Craig G might have been first or something. Boom. So we do Craig G set. Boom. I do his set. Then Shan come out. I do Shan set. All right. Then Ace come out. Ace got somebody, so he get somebody else get on the set to do Ace set.
Okay.
Then I want to say Biz come out, and Cool V, he DJ for Biz. All right. Then Kane comes out, and then we'll do like half the set maybe, and then he ends the half set with the symphony where he bring
everybody out.
But he does this on purpose. All of them, you've seen them already, so he bring them out. But then he bring Coogee Rap out on the symphony for the first time. Motherfuckers go crazy.
Yo.
Then after the symphony, after they do the symphony, and G-Rap out there, boom, take a break. G-Rap do a set. G-Rap do his set. Then he end the set. Then we bring Kane back out. And then we end the set. You know what I'm saying? So that's how we had the show set up. And it made so much impact. Man. That was dope. But the bad thing the bad thing about it, when you start getting the reviews and you start seeing people, they starting to see weaknesses in certain niggas. They shit. Right. But then certain niggas in they shit, they had the weakness, but then they want to have something to say about how the lineup was or how this was or how that. When it's like, shit, we saving your ass doing it like this. If you word. And then I remember we got to, I think, London or somewhere. And because G-Rap had a DJ too. I forgot. He had a DJ. So This time he had a DJ. Because I DJ for G-Rap sometimes too if he ain't had DJ. But he had DJ that time.
Man,
before that
you
too.
hear yourself though, bro. God have mercy, bro.
Yeah.
God, man.
But this was crazy. this one show, after we did this one show, this G-Rap DJ, which is really, he a nondescript guy. He ain't even no DJ kind of guy. Right. But for some reason, he felt like this show shouldn't go that way. G should just have his own set and not do it, just not come out and do it that way and just do this and do that. And it was one of those situations where we kind of like, I mean, I think just, we seeing the feedback from the people. They love it when this happens and this did it.
It's not broke.
And he like, well, nah, I think we should be at this. So then the next show, it's like, we all like, okay, all right, we're gonna do that. This next show come, they do it. They don't have no impact, and the shit kind of bomb. And then it's like, after that, then it's like,
can we go back?
And we try to tell you. We was like, we did it on purpose like that because this gonna give G-Rap more praise and it's gonna make it more impactful for him when he don't come out and just do a full set and then like it's like he guest appeared and it's like, oh, because you don't see him, because like you got to think when we did this, I think they might have only did the symphony all together one time. In Pittsburgh, one time ever. Wow! Like in this, because that happened. That's what spawned them doing the Juice Crew tour because G-Rap was off the scene forever. Right. So we would do the symphony. He would get Craig. He would get Ace. He might even get Marley.
Oh, they couldn't get G-Rap. That's what you're saying.
No, G just won't want to do the shit.
Right.
He didn't want to do it for a while because I think he was just laying low.
Right.
He didn't want to do it.
Right.
So then, when we finally was able to pull it together, because G-Rap, one of his producers, Domingo, which is my man, he brought us to Pittsburgh to do a show. And the fact that he rocked with G-Rap, he kind of convinced us to do the reunion at that show.
Right.
Because he went there and they can make it happen. So that was the first time since '88 that they do the record.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what spawned us the thought of even trying to do a Juice Crew reunion tour and all that kind of stuff. So, but like I said, it's like, but it was a learning experience. But the fact that on the tour stuff, the fact that Ace got all the experience with touring and Kane and Biz,
right?
That's what made it still work out. But because he takes that pride into the showmanship of presenting the show a certain way, the formula that we had was making it was for the best for everybody.
Right.
But
giving people their money's worth.
But everybody don't. I'm talking about everybody that's performing.
Right.
But everybody might not have saw that picture that way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I guess that's because they may not have been doing as many shows or whatever, so they couldn't tell
the difference.
They don't know.
It just looked like Kane was trying to run everything. Yeah. Basically, in a nutshell.
Yeah, that's kind of probably how they was thinking.
Crazy,
well, he trying to run it. So
yeah.
But when they compared how it went when we made it this way versus the other way, then it's like, oh, okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah. I mean, y'all do this. Y'all seen
exactly.
Y'all seen the trial and error of it and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Man.
So it's like, it was for the best. But at the end of the day, everybody don't always see that picture yet.
Yeah.
Which that happens a lot. It's like, you try to like sell somebody on specifics based on the vision that you kind of have or the potential vision that that this could be.
Right.
If they see that same vision, it's not always congruent, or they might not see it that way, so they may not cooperate all the way because they might not see it that way. So that's it happens. It happens.
Word up, man. Dang, man, that's awesome, man. Like, the crazy part, man, Skaz, is I've had the fortune of running into like some artists that have done some great things that's out there, myself.
Yeah.
And it's one thing that all these artists have in common, bro. Your name always comes up.
Oh, word.
And it always comes up in a
good.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, that's good.
Bro, cats will come down here, they'll be like, look, man, every time I try to, look for somebody to do this or do what, Skaz name come up, man. like, bro, like you gotta. Bro, you have a good name out here, dog. Like, your name is solid, bro. And that'll take you a long way, man.
That's great to hear, bro. That's great to hear.
No, for real, dog. It's like everybody knows you. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? Like, my man Sincere, you know what I'm saying? Thank God for Sincere, man, because a lot of good things happen for me, man, because of him. You know what I'm saying? Because of you, I was able to tell my mother. Like, Mom, I sat down in a meeting with Kane. You know what I'm saying? My mom remember me having posters on the wall, like just on some straight idol, and just it's a large testament, man, of what kind of cat you are. You know what I'm saying? That's why it was so important for me to get this piece right here. Like it was just important because I knew I was gonna get a good story, and I know it's 1,000 more things to talk about and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? But man, I know I kept calling you like, yo, Skaz, Wicked, you know what I'm saying? But I wasn't going to give up on this. I had to get this piece.
I feel like I needed to do it, man. Like I said, it never was nothing personal, bro.
Yeah, I know that.
I just want to make sure schedules line up.
Well, no. I was telling Finsta that I'm like, man, look, where everybody else ain't going to play this game. You know what I'm saying? But I said with Skaz, man, it's like Skaz will be up the road 1 minute and then he in Russia the next minute. Like, you gotta catch him when you can, bro. Like,
not even on no bullshit.
Right, not even on right. It's like over I'm gonna say I'm just throwing a number out there. Over 55% of your Instagram posts are you on a plane, bro. So it's like, look, you got to catch him when you can. Like, for real. If that man tell me he can't do it this week or something came up, I'm going to have to eat that, bro, because this is a busy man. He's not one-dimensional. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that I learned by watching you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was already in me, but I didn't know how to do it. And I still struggle with how to do it, but I see how you've been able to maneuver, you know, doing different things throughout the years, man, successfully, man. And you still in the game, and the thing about it is you still love the game, bro. Like, you still
I love the game, but
bro.
you know, you know, sometimes you get discouraged with some of the things that's a part of the game. But you're right. Overall, I love the game in its totality, but it be certain elements of the game that does kind of like make you feel like not giving up per se, but being like, okay, let me go over here.
Right.
Channel this.
You know
this
me,
way.
boy. You know I'll go over here.
Rechannel this way.
Yeah,
you know
yeah. You know I'll do that for real in a heartbeat, man.
Yeah.
How does your family feel, bro? Not your family, but like your, you know, I'm talking about mothers. I'm talking about cousins. I'm talking about aunts. Like, when you first gave out that news of, you know, going on the road with Kane.
Oh boy.
How did mama feel about that? How did the family feel about that?
Well, I'm gonna tell you honestly, I never really talked about this though, but
good, because you could talk about it now.
But like with my mother, I feel like she kind of was. She looked at it like, I mean, because she looked at it like, okay, that's a hobby of yours, and
okay.
you know, you handling it accordingly. So it wasn't. I feel like it wasn't even like, it was still surreal to her, because I feel like later in life, like by the time I'm at the studio where y'all was kind of coming,
right?
My mother came and lived with me for a little bit. I hadn't lived with my mother since I was 18 years old, and I ended up letting her come live with me for a minute, and
which is a gift within itself. But go ahead.
Yeah, and she came to the studio for something and just kind of like sat around and watched what I actually did.
Mm-hmm.
And the crazy thing is, at that point is when she realized,
it's not a hobby.
Damn, you made this into something.
Yeah.
Like,
it's not a hobby.
And this is damn near 30 years later almost.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like she never thought of it that seriously or that deep.
Right.
And then when she sat in and saw all, besides just going on the road, when she sat and saw everything that I was doing and what I brought to whatever, far as producing and engineering and all that, and collectively putting shit together vision wise, and that, when she saw like the process of what was going on, she was like, wow, you really made this into something. And that's I feel like that was her realization for the first time that, oh, this is serious. Like, and I was like, I mean, it's been like that, but this is the first time she witnessed it.
And you know, I definitely can't speak on her experience, especially her being your mother. But I know for me, bro, anytime I've been in the studio with you, the door never stopped swinging open. The phone never stopped ringing. Like, it was a hug.
Yeah,
like,
definitely. Yep.
Cats that you don't rock with, not even on no negative, you know what I'm saying?
I know what you mean, yeah.
But cats that you don't normally kick it with, they coming through. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like working with you or working with members of the Butta Team was like a rite of passage if you wanted to do your thing.
Ground.
Right, it was a neutral ground that you had to go through if you wanted to be considered, you know, if you wanted respect.
Yep.
You had to. Have you rocked with Skaz in them yet? You know what I'm saying?
That's going to kind of give you a stamp somewhat. You know what I'm saying?
And it was a while before I even got with y'all, man. But, you know, by the time I got to y'all, you know what I'm saying, it was cool. You know what I'm saying? But, it's like you had to have went through Skaz and the Butta Team. One of them has had to have they fingerprints on you.
Yeah.
Or you ain't doing nothing out here.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't been through these guys are our DJs. So if you ain't been through them, you really haven't,
At the time, we kind of was the industry for here. So that's
because
the reason
anytime there
why
was seminars down here, you guys,
we was the industry for the market.
Right.
So, like, in more ways than one.
Right.
So that's why I guess it was so important.
Right.
Because it was a time where even the crew, you got Mike and Mad and Courtney, they were street team promotions for labels for this market.
Right. Right.
So we are the industry for the market. Like, we marketed records on a big scale and on a local scale.
Right.
So even on a local scale, these guys are marketing big records. So if you ain't got them marketing your records, you ain't doing nothing.
Right.
So I mean, that's the reality of how it went down. So
Right.
that's why you say the Butta Team was basically the industry to the market in our hip hop market.
Right.
Like, you had to musically come through somebody that had something to do with it in order for it to seem like it was all the way official for this area.
Right. Yeah, man. And it was just, bro, it was, I understand you guys are in the process now of are you guys in the process now of bringing the radio station back and whatnot? Yeah, Courtney, she reached out to me a couple of days ago about that and whatnot, and I'm glad to hear that, bro.
Yeah, man.
Like, yes, because I know y'all gonna do the damn thing. I know it's gonna be an event, bro, and I got high hopes for it. I'm looking forward to it because I'm looking for some classic records, you know what I'm saying?
And the way we're doing it now is basing it straight on NC.
Wow, really?
We trying to basically highlight all NC artists.
Right.
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Give
Okay.
that, because it's like college radio touches on it,
Right.
but we trying to be like, that's going to be the whole focus. We ain't gonna be playing too much. Even if it's commercial people that's from here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Even if it's legendary shit, it's legendary people from here.
Okay,
you know
so you know what? And this leads to my next question. This is a question that this is a question I meant to ask you earlier.
Okay.
But I'm gonna throw it in there now. How important do you think that the DJ from North Carolina has a certain responsibility to break North Carolina music?
They should. I feel like they should. They don't have to, but I feel like they should.
Do you feel like it happens enough?
It don't happen enough.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No, it don't happen enough. But that's like, thinking about it, in the Butta Team's heyday of that, we were that.
Right.
We were that. That was that was our job
to break records
to our hip hop family in the area.
Yeah.
We were that pipeline.
Right. Now,
so that's why we wanted. That's why I say, even resurfacing back, we want to still become that pipeline yet again.
Because why do you think they got lost in translation though?
That's what I always try to figure out. I try to figure the same thing out because, like, even thinking back, I don't know if you knew this directly, but the whole Welcome to Durham thing came about because niggas wanted to do a soundtrack for our artists. It wasn't even about no movie or no documentary.
Right.
It was more about trying to take the artists that we was working with and getting them exposure. And it was just through this channel.
Right.
That was the whole point of doing it. But the documentary just got more press, and it just, kind of physically in everybody's eyes, it kind of took off more.
Right.
But it was, in actuality, it was more about the music. Because we do music.
Right.
So it was like, it was supposed to be a gateway to bring the musicians through and let people notice, oh damn, they got artists there that's that dope, and it's this many of them.
Yeah.
That's what the whole point of it was. But that got lost in translation.
But I remember the sessions though, and a lot of artists did come together because of that.
Yeah, exactly. Because we had that neutral that neutral bound to where like we fuck with everybody and everybody fuck with us.
That's
so
what,
even
that's
if they didn't fuck with each other,
right,
we could still make it happen because of us being the channel.
And that's what I seen, man. Yeah. I was seeing Kane link up with Little Brother. Mm-hmm. You know, we came in through Josie Moe.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Yep. It was just, you know, it was.
Yeah.
It was just a lot going on that was together, man. And I'm like, yo, these are the guys, man. These guys are like the cornerstone of, you know, everything that's going on here and whatnot. And just to hear the history and the different branches that come from this, you know, like I said once again, man, that's why I had to get this piece. You know what I'm saying? And it's good to see you, you know, still.
Someone was detected at your front door.
Okay, we can work on that.
Yeah.
But it's good to see you still, you know what I'm saying, you still in the mix, you still putting, you know, you still producing heavily, you still kicking ass in beat battles, you know what I'm saying, you still on the radio, you still on the road. You know what I'm saying?
Still doing everything that I was doing. It just channeled slightly differently, but I'm still doing it all.
20 plus years later. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you still in here, bro. And you an inspiration, dog. You know, not just to me.
I feel like I'm blessed, man.
You are, bro.
I feel like I'm blessed.
You're highly blessed, man. Highly favored and all that, man. And it feels good to be able to, you know, pick up the phone and, you know, hit you up and.
But I'm gonna tell you this to your face, bro.
Go ahead.
I appreciate you too. Like
I know
on some real shit. I appreciate you too.
Do,
Not even just no Hollywood bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, cause I ain't that type of guy.
Right.
I appreciate you too.
I know you do, man. I know you do. You know what I'm saying? And it's just always good to see you, man. Like for real, cause you one of my top dogs, bro. You really are.
That's what's up.
You know what I'm saying? And
that's love.
It just so happened that you got some dope shit going on too. You know, that's the icing on the cake, like I said before. But before we wrap it up, is there anything you want to talk about as far as what you got coming up? Something that you're working on right now, or you know?
Okay, yeah. I guess I can do that. I've been doing new scattered work here and there. One thing I wanted to focus on because I got to get back all the way in tune.
Okay.
It's an R&B artist that I'm working with, Nisha the Voice.
Okay.
We released a single.
One more time. What's her name?
Nisha the Voice.
Okay. The Voice.
Nisha the Voice.
Okay.
Yes. She's out of South Carolina, really.
Okay.
By way of Raleigh now.
Right.
But it's an artist that that Skills kind of brought to my attention some years ago, and we were supposed to be working for a while, but it just didn't happen. And then her manager reached out to me on Instagram just for me posting beats and stuff, and then we kind of had a chance meeting, and then we started working. We actually started working probably about maybe 3 years ago now, because of all the stuff that went on. But we were working on an EP, and we might be about 3 or 4 songs in. But we just kind of took a little hiatus because there was some things going on. Besides COVID and a couple other things going on. A couple other things, but we about 3 or 4 songs in. We released a single. Well, we leaked out one, which featured Jay Gunn.
Okay.
Where we kind of flipped Mary J joint. It's called You and I. That was the first joint we leaked out, and then it's the single we just put out, Butterflies, probably like the end of the year last year.
Is this available on?
It's available right now.
I'm gonna look for that.
Yeah, so
definitely look for
Nisha
that.
the Voice, Butterflies, available on all media outlets or whatever.
Okay.
I just got to get back with her so we can get our schedule back rolling, so we can kind of wrap up. But that's one major thing. All the other things are kind of just little stuff I got.
I know how it goes. I know how it goes. Question: DJ Skills. Was Skills a part of the Butta Team too?
Nah, not directly. He's another affiliate that we've been rocking with.
Because I thought he was with y'all too. Yeah.
We've been rocking with him.
Yo, he be working.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah, he be working.
Like me and Skills go back too, bro. Like me and Skills, I remember, because we used to do all the college parties all around the area.
Right.
And Skills was going to St. Aug, and we used to do all their parties, and he would come around with him and E. Terry when both of them was going to St. Aug. And E. Terry ended up being a rep for Universal or something.
Right. I remember that name.
Yeah. He was a rep for Universal, and so we would he would service us all the records for
dark skin cat.
He might be brown skinned, like kind of big. He manages skills now. He been managing skills for a long time. Run in with him. But they went to school together.
Okay.
And when Skills was in school, he used to come because he was commuting because he's from South Carolina, so he was commuting back and forth. But he was doing events in South Carolina, and then they would have him do the commercial. So he would come to the studio. I would help him cut the commercial.
Right.
Whatever. Then so it's like he was around in the mix. He would bring him, Buddy Klein. They would come to the spot. Jeruz, like he would bring them like guys around because they was doing a lot of stuff together. Yep. So it's like he a close knit cat that's been rocking with us for a long time. We seen him on the come up and he's doing his thing.
So Jeruz done came through the spot too.
Somewhat.
Okay, but he came through.
Yeah.
And Jeruz later on, Black.
We got the little,
Oh, word.
That's all of us right there. Me,
wow,
Jeruz, Blaze. Yeah, this one we was at the old spot.
Fathers. Y'all remember that?
Yeah.
And so Jeruz went on to do a lot of joints for G Unit.
Yep.
Snoop. So.
Yeah.
shout out to Black Jeruz.
Black Jeruz,
Ill-Feel, my man.
Ill-Feel too.
Yeah, man.
These are my guys that want to come up. We just kind of was just creatively just doing some stuff and kind of feeding off one another and all those things.
Yes sir. Yes sir.
A part of the whole history, bro.
Hey, look, bro. It's been a good one. I'm trying to tell you. I feel like we can go 2 more hours and whatnot, man.
I got you.
Yo, this has been fire though, bro. You know what I'm saying? And
thank you, man. Thank you.
I don't know, man. I say this, man. Just even though I'm watching anyway, man, keep us abreast on everything that you're doing, man, because we definitely want to be another line of support for everything that you're doing and whatnot, bro. Sure. You know what I'm saying?
And I appreciate that all the way.
I appreciate you just giving us this time. It's been fire. Salute, my brother.
Salute to you too.
Oh, before we go, live from Kingdom Come. Talk about that real quick.
Okay, live from Kingdom Come.
Okay.
I got some shirts for y'all too.
I'm gonna need that.
But
let's go.
Live from Kingdom Come is the studio now I call Kingdom Come.
Okay.
So when I was doing a lot of mixes and like I was doing like certain mixes, mixtapes, and when I was live streaming, I would call it Live from Kingdom Come, which is this is Kingdom Come. Right. So that's what the Live from Kingdom Come is.
And he ain't on no egotistical, Nah. This man's last name is King.
Yeah, King. That's where the kingdom comes from.
All right, so
last name King.
He got that right.
Kingdom Come.
Right.
That's what we came up with. It just was trying to have a little ring, but still put my name in the mix.
Word up.
So that's kind of where we at. You know what I'm saying? So
good.
that's pretty much what Live from Kingdom Come
Word
is.
Up, my brother.
Anything that I'm doing live from the studio, that's what we call Live from Kingdom Come.
10-4, my brother. Look, before I go, I know you got a lot in the vault. For sure. When you gonna open up the vault, bro?
Oh, I mean,
let the vault loose, yo. You got some classic records in the vault.
Yeah, you're right. We
do.
What
I'm saying? Like, just...
honestly, I've been getting stuff together to kind of get ready to release some of this, just in that type of atmosphere.
And the reason I say that, bro, it ain't just to poke at you or nothing, but it's a sound that's needed. You know what I'm saying? Gotcha. It's not thin. It's how records supposed to sound, dog. You know what I'm saying? Let them fly, dog.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
You know what I'm saying?
But no, I just been, because you got to remember, once I got out of doing the studio business, like for the public every day,
yeah,
then I was able to get more creative.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't locked into being creative for everybody else.
Right. You zoned in.
You know what I'm saying? So now it's got me more time and space to really plan it out and do it the right way versus just like because I got so much else going on. I can't put the all into making this really surface like it needs to or materialize like it needs to. I just been kind of, sitting back and being selective on how, who I'm working with and how this is going down and all that. So that's just what's been going on in the past few years or so. So, yeah, like I said, I'm gonna let some stuff fly, but I just been getting other stuff in order.
I understand, bro. More than you know. My brother, I appreciate you. Thank you.
No doubt,
you know what I'm saying? It's been a wonderful episode.
Yeah.
I smell food and whatnot. I know you got to get to the kitchen. Listen.
Yes,
everybody, thank you for tuning in once again to another episode of Hip Hop Beats and Things with K-Hill, my man Finsta. One more shout out to Skaz Digga for coming through. Until next time, y'all, do not forget to subscribe and like. Help us get them numbers up. I know we
Like
rebranded.
thumbs up.
Word up. I know we rebranded, but, you know, help us get back to where we need to be at, all right? Salute.